Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown!
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports.
First and 10, Hunt, again, slips through, goes all the way for the touchdown!
Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Allen Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports.
Hurts, gets a shot, Hurts, in!
Super Bowl 59 coverage is also brought to you by Batteries Plus, Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine, TexasBeefHouse.com, Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Bird Culchin Ford, Ideal MRI, Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, Tradesman Services, Richard Carr Motors.
Rolling, Mahomes, he can keep it, he can get there, he's in for the touchdown!
365 Sports is produced by Garrett Ross and Emery Winter.
Design run, Hurts, delay, Hurts, in, touchdown, Eagles!
Now here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
Just me. Very sadly, just me today. Paul Catalina, Garrett Ross, Emery Winter is in the media workroom doing yeoman's work, getting all of the stuff, cut and ready for all the things we have to do. We have had such a ridiculously fun day today.
Yes.
We had to get here a little earlier than we normally do. And if you're wondering where Smokey is, he is on his way back. You've heard him complaining about his whatever's going on in his back. He couldn't take it anymore, jumped on a flight. He was going to leave earlier anyway, but he just couldn't take it anymore. You will see him on the first part of the show because we have Darren Woodson that he was here for that interview, which was awesome. Darren Woodson remembers me, and my life is now complete.
It seems like it makes your heart whole.
It does. Well, I mean, like, the thing is, I've met a lot of these guys a lot of the time, and then they meet so many people. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like I don't expect them to, right? I don't expect them to. But when they do, it really does make you feel good. You're like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks. Means a lot. I mean, it does because you did. I mean, people here.
Tons of people.
Yeah, tons of people. Tons and tons and tons of people. We had a fun day. A couple of things you'll see tomorrow because we do not have time to get to them on the show today because we have several live guests, including Brian Asamoah from the Vikings. We have Dante Hall. We have Andrew Zimmern. And we have Brian Baldinger all here live at the table during the show. We have not seen. I've seen them around, but I have not seen them yet. Then, not only that, we've got Thurman Thomas, Hall of Famer, for you coming up. But so it's been a super fun day here on the Row. That's what we call it. In the biz, we call it the Row. So it's been a cool day here, and we've had a really, really good time. But there are some college football notes I want to get to really quickly. The first one is Brian Hartline is the new play caller, offensive coordinator at Ohio State, replacing the departed Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly left for $6 million a year with the Las Vegas Raiders. And this was, to me, and I kind of wondered last year, like, Ohio State pushed all their chips to the middle of the table, right? They spent way more than they ever have. They had an NIL, getting Caleb Downs and Will Howard and retaining, a lot is made of the guys they went out and got and brought in.
Which wasn't that many.
Well, yeah, it was like 6 guys.
Right.
Maybe. But they retained really well. So, for the Caleb Downs and the Will Howards, the kind of avatars of the offense and defense that they went and got, they retained Denzel Burke. They retained Jack Sawyer. They retained GT Tumiololao, Tyreek Wilkins, Donovan Jackson, Emeka Ibuka, Quinshon Judkins they brought in. They kept Travion Henderson in spite of bringing in Quinshon Judkins.
When most backs would have left.
Yeah. I mean, Quinshon Judkins left because of kind of a similar situation. You know, and of course he went to chase some money, and a national worked out for Quinshon Judkins.
Sure
So I will
did.
not begrudge him leaving the way he did. There's pretzel salt from earlier here and is bothering me. So you eat weird, like, little things during the day. Like today I've had chicken wings, a biscotti, a pretzel, a little thing of etouffee, and a little thing of a crab potato salad from Louisiana fish fry people, which was...
Was it good?
Oh,
I was on the fence about it.
yeah. Did
You
you
know
have
me.
it? Would you have any of the etouffee or gumbo?
No, I was full. That I had the biscotti and I had the pretzel and some wings.
Yeah.
I'll still get my appetite back, man.
Yeah. So anyway, but Brian Hartline is now the play caller. I think with Chip Kelly and, of course, a couple years with Jim Knowles. They had to hire Jim Knowles a couple years ago because, remember, their defense was porous.
Terrible.
It was absolutely terrible. It was porous. You could just run straight through it, on and on and on and on and on. It was absolutely insane and crazy. And so he had to go in and bring in Jim Knowles. Now he's lost Jim Knowles. I'm not sure. I don't think they've filled that yet. I've been kind of here and in the S, as they say, here, like doing this. But I do think it's interesting that Brian Hartline, now the full-time play caller, the OC, he is already their best recruiter.
Oh, without a doubt.
And one of the best in the country. Like that, rating him, like he's one of those guys that every year going to go to that says, like, okay, who's the best? Who are the best recruiters? Is Brian Hartline. Like, he's top shelf recruiter. He's if you look at, he's been the wide receivers coach there for several years. Is there a better position that gets more first-round draft picks and superstars than Ohio State wide receiver right now? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No, I mean, I think pound for pound, star for star, no, it's up there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that is inevitable that he was going to get there. It was inevitable that he was going to get there. So I think it's really good for him. What I wonder is how long, like, if he's good at this, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be. He's been good at everything else. If he's good at this, what head coaching job does he get? And how do you replace, like, losing Brian Hartline as a play caller is like the minor thing. You can find, like, there are many guys who can call plays, and that's great, and they really don't have them focus on recruiting much until it comes to,
being the closer,
being the
in the
closer
situation.
of, like, hey, I coach this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy, and hey, let me get, like, if you're at Texas Tech, let me get Patrick Mahomes on the phone, something like that, like, one of those things. And that particular example is in my head for something.
That's coming up.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
That's coming up.
But I think that's a huge deal for Brian Hartline to get it. I think his arrow is pointed as directly up as any assistant can be in college football right now. And I bet you every year somebody offers him an offensive coordinator job that, A, he wouldn't make as much money making and doesn't have as much of upward trajectory as he would of just waiting for 2 years like he did 3 years at Ohio State and getting it. I think it'll be fine. His big challenges, though, they're going to go, and I think more teams are going to start doing this a little bit more now that the House settlement, I think we'll see some curtailing of the transfer portal.
Right.
Because people will now negotiate and serve longer-term contracts in that. But wrapped up in all that is he's got a quarterback battle on his hands. Yep. It's probably going to be Julian Sayin, who was the number one player in the country last year, who was actually a transfer and not because he was at Alabama, then Nick Saban retired and he left. But Julian Sayin is probably going to be the quarterback there in 2025. Can he make that work? Jeremiah Smith's already there. They're losing both the running backs. They haven't really gotten a chance to get into the portal all that much. And they've made some moves, but because they were going so deep in the playoff.
Right.
So let's see if the spring portal, what Ohio State does right off the bat there to get it. Also an interesting one, if you're a Texas fan, you're losing a very promising young assistant coach, Blake Gideon, an alum. The safeties coach, very well thought of, very, very well thought of. How well thought of? He's replacing Tyler Santucci at Georgia Tech. Tyler Santucci was at Duke, then he was at Georgia Tech. Now he is off to the Ravens to be their linebacker coach, and Blake Gideon is the new defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech under Brent Key. Very interesting hire there, and I knew Tyler, I knew Tyler Santucci wouldn't be at Georgia Tech long,
right?
Because he's again another name on the up. But Ravens linebacker coach, which means he'll be
a nice jump.
Well, and he'll also be a defensive coordinator probably in a couple years in the NFL because he seems to be one of those interesting young defensive minds.
Right.
And look, he flipped Georgia Tech around in a lot of regards this year. Like their offense was one thing, but a completely different one was
the defense.
The defense was like last year at Georgia Tech. You could name your score on the defense, and then you'd have to tell Haynes King like,
go catch
all right, you gotta, all right. The defense said this team said they're gonna score 39. Like, all right, better go score 40.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it was. And then in a year, he flipped it.
Yep.
He flipped it. So Blake Gideon has big shoes to fill there as well. One more thing I got to get into, and I try to avoid politics like the plague because a great number of you know this, that I don't agree with a lot of your political views. But I don't. I think that we're not going to get to the place we need to be in America if we're just, you're an idiot conservative, you're an idiot liberal, and then like people in the middle are like me are like I don't really subscribe to either of your philosophies. I just want what's right for the country and for the people and for the world. So that's all I want. And, look, Kurt Schilling the other day, and I really want to thank Kim Coulter for a very lovely compliment he paid me about, Kurt Schilling, I don't agree with anything politically, but we had a great conversation, and I do think that we could sit down and like, have beers together and have a good time. And that's, politics is, I think, who you think you are. Like our interests of who we really are.
Right.
Like that's what it is. And you'll see tomorrow I'm doing an interview with Sarah Spain. And a lot of you aren't going to agree with her, but I think she's a really good person and she has a really good heart. And I think you should just listen to her and enjoy. She's funny and she's cool and she does
a great
lot of
interview.
It's a really good interview. That's gonna run tomorrow because we don't have time to get in today because it was kind of long. So, but today or yesterday, Donald Trump was talking about Tommy Tuberville. And he said, and this relates directly to the Super Bowl, about Patrick Mahomes. And he's like, I asked him how good a player he was. He said, you didn't even, I can't even tell you. And then I'm loosely quoting here, but he made me a better coach. Well, everybody who knows anything about college football knows that Patrick Mahomes didn't play for Tommy Tuberville.
Nope.
Nor was he recruited by Tommy Tuberville. And so today, like, all Tommy Tuberville had to do, and I don't know why Donald Trump said that. I don't want to get into why politicians, especially him, say the things that he does. But that is not true at all. He left 2 full years before Patrick Mahomes played him down and very famously did not recruit him.
Yep.
Did not. Very famously left a dinner where he was recruiting somebody else in the middle of it to go to Cincinnati. All of Lubbock wants nothing to do with Tommy Tuberville. There's a reason he went back to Alabama to run for Senate and not for Texas, because West Texas Oil would have put him under a well.
Yep.
They were not happy with Tommy Tuberville.
They shouldn't have been.
He did a ton of damage to that program. Look, you want to leave, that's fine, but do it the right way. Don't just leave a kid at a steakhouse.
That was pathetic.
I wonder, do you think he walked the tab too?
Oh, hell yeah.
So, Tommy Tuberville is on Megyn Kelly today, and Tommy Tuberville, all he has to say is, the president was mistaken. I was at Texas Tech before, but Patrick Mahomes is great. I look forward to watching him. He was truly an unbelievable college player. And he's an even better pro and all this stuff. That's all it be. That's all he had to do. And he could have just been like, he's mistaken, but that happens. People get things confused. The president meets a lot of people. That's all he had to say. But instead, he had to take some credit for Patrick Mahomes and said, well, no, I did recruit him. No, you didn't. Very famously did not. The first Texas Tech head coach that walked into Patrick Mahomes' world was Cliff Kingsbury. And because Cliff Kingsbury was the guy who did that, that's why Patrick Mahomes went to Tech and not whoever else was going to show up in the door. So, no, sir. It is so ridiculous, the lengths that these people will go to lie, that now they're trying to even have some stolen valor for Patrick freaking Holmes.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, my God. It was all he had to do. All he had to do was say, the president was mistaken. And then it's over. But a blonde chick was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, no, I know Patrick Mahomes.
Rod, go.
Yeah. No, bro, me and Patrick, we go way back. We did shots together, Delray Beach. It was awesome. No, I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, no, you've been around those dudes before in your life. Like, you meet them and, like, yeah, maybe they have met this famous person.
Right.
But they're not like, I'll call him right now. I'll get on the phone. Look, I can tell you right now, I can get a lot of people on the phone and they'd be like, oh, yeah, Paul? Like, I wouldn't be able to, like,
that's it?
If that was my move to impress somebody, they'd be like, oh, or how'd you get this number?
Right.
Like, I always tell them how. Like, hey, I'm Paul. You are on the show. I have a whole thing. So I just thought it was so ridiculous. And it's such a funny thing because all Tommy, this isn't even about Donald Trump. It's not even. It's kind of not even his fault.
No.
Because he
in a weird way.
He could have easily just been mistaken. I mean, Tommy Tuberville was the coach at Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech. If you got the timeline confused, that happens to all sports. That happens to us all the time. When you're like, it happened to me yesterday talking to Pat Carter about, hey, you were in the Punt and Rooski game. He's like, no, the year before. Okay, oops. Nobody was like, oh, yeah, I know I was. All Tommy Tuberville had to do, how dumb the guy is, all he had to do is go, oh, no, he was mistaken. But Patrick is great. Move on.
And then Patrick call him out?
So then Patrick today asked whether Philadelphia Inquirer was like, I don't think I've ever met him. No, he did not from this college. He didn't recruit me. He's like, I don't remember meeting him at all.
He never has.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, it's just embarrassing. And here, Tommy Tuberville was given a chance to, like, no, it's fine. But he was just like, no. And he
can't not Tommy Tuberville.
He got right there because he answered the question. He's like, no, I haven't. I didn't coach him. And you're like, stop, full stop, right there. You don't have to say anything else. And then he's like, but I didn't recruit him. No, you didn't. No, you did not. That's not a thing that happened.
Good times.
Listen, I didn't go out with Paige Spiranac, but I mean, she gave me her number. That's not.
Yeah.
No, neither of those
She
two
helped me
things.
with a swing.
Yeah, neither of those things happened. All I can tell you, like, I know Paige more than he knows Patrick.
Yeah.
I spent 10 minutes with her yesterday. That's how I'm ahead of the game. That's it.
That's well played.
That's it. They call me comrade. It's a great story, comrade. Yeah, it's not a great story. It's the thing. Let's just go watch it. Like, watch Trump yesterday, then watch Tommy Tuberville today on Megyn Kelly. And you're like, why didn't you just say, I didn't coach him or recruit him, but he's a great player. That's all you got to say. You don't have to say anything else. Oh, my gosh. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he would say it. I have no idea, Vince Guesser, why he would say it.
The clown.
Conundrum is the Hooters girl coming back today. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, she's not. That was a one-time thing. That's the things that happen here on Radio Row. One of the other things that happens on Radio Row, you get to talk to legends and hopefully a guy who is getting a gold jacket here soon. You'll find out tonight. Darren Woodson, Cowboys legend. That's coming up next. 365 Sports.
Hi, I'm Mark Stewart with Bird Colgan Ford. It's that time of year, it's football season. Bird Colgan Ford is a proud supporter of the best high school football right here in Central Texas. BK Ford is proud to sell the #1 selling truck in Texas, the F-Series truck, 47 years in a row. Come see the largest showroom in Texas and experience better at Bird Colgan Ford.
Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott understand these are difficult and changing times we live in, but they know how important your financial investments are to you. So is your financial advisor staying in touch with you and helping you navigate today's financial climate? Invest with Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Chuck Verno, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, who invest their time and experience back to you and your money. And like coaching athletes, investing money is about time, patience, and encouragement. Contact Ben Erlinson at 254-759-8533. Brad Wilson's location at 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, and Cam Heathcott in Conroe. Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, proud sponsors of 365 Sports. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. Allen Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Allen Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
Rolling, Mahomes, he can keep it, he can get there, he's in for the touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Allen Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
Former Cowboys great Darren Woodson with us, representing Choctaw, and we are live in New Orleans. 365 Sports, Paul Catalina, and also David Smoak. So I have this question. Tonight's a big night.
Yeah.
You may or may not get the call. You've been here before. When you came into town, do you get butterflies like a game?
Yes. Yeah, leading up. Yeah, and it happens. It happens early on. It happens as we get closer to the Super Bowl, because as a finalist, you're going to get that call at some point, either yay or nay. So yeah, I think it's in your mind. It's not so much to the game standard of I played in 3 of these Super Bowls, right, and that's a totally different feeling. But this is there's some angst to knowing where what's going to happen, because it's not just about you. It's your family as well. It's my mom. It's my family that's in Phoenix. It's all my family and friends that are in Dallas, and people are pinging you all the time. I have a little 8-year-old man who's every day tugging at me saying, "Dad, did they call you?" Like after he gets off school. So yeah, it's a lot to it. So you got to play it out.
It's also a testament to how great those teams were when you guys get recognized. So I know your teammates feel it too, right? I mean, I'm sure you felt it. Well, the excitement for Troy and Emmett and Michael and all those guys and Larry and all of that. But yeah, it's a testament to that. So I'm sure they feel it a lot too.
You know what it's a testament for? It's for me to just have the opportunity, right, to possibly at some point get in. It's just the opportunity to get there. It's a recognition of all the guys that played on that defense in the 90s who didn't get a lot of credit, right? The Ken Norton Juniors, who was the middle linebacker, the Tony Tolberts of the world, the Kevin Smiths, the Larry Browns, who was Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
Like, there's so many, that James Washington, there's so many guys that I played with who played at the highest level. We were a top 3 defense back then. We won a Super Bowl. We had 9 turnovers in the first Super Bowl. But a lot of that credit never landed on that side of the ball. It was always on the opposite side of the ball, and rightfully so. There's a lot of great players on our offensive side of the ball. But, it's a testament. If I do get in, I'm going in with them. Those are my boys.
Yeah.
They carried me in.
Yeah, Russell Maryland.
Maryland.
All sorts of names.
Oh,
I was driving one time, and I don't remember. I think I was driving across Florida one time, and I was listening to an interview with Dave Campo and what he said about you and others who have said anything about you were in a different era, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you had picks and fumbles and stuff, but just an enormous.
That's my man.
Yeah, Warren Moon.
Yeah.
An enormous amount of tackles. A great defensive player. They called you the glue.
Yeah.
They did. They said this is the guy. This was the glue of that stretch for just over a decade.
Well, I appreciate that, but there were so many other guys. I became a pro by watching Tony Tolbert. I became a pro by watching Thomas Everett and James Washington and Ray Horton get ready for games. Prepare for games. I became a pro with Larry Brown and Kevin Smith teaching me press coverage because I was playing multiple positions. I was playing safety, the nickel, linebacker at times, and then ran down on special teams. So that's how I became a pro. So it wasn't me being the glue. It was just me playing my role within the scheme of what we were doing. And I just bought into it, man, because I just wanted to win. I mean, ultimately, I wanted to win, and that was the ultimately that was it for us.
Is Pup going to the College Football Hall of
Fame?
He did.
He went in.
I wanted to.
That
is. I mean, I think you mentioned him and Larry. I think people forget how good the rest of the secondary was because later on you guys brought in Dion for a season, and then he brings in a lot of light.
He brought a lot of light. You know what? Kevin Smith tore his Achilles, or it's really accelerated the process of Dion coming in. But Kevin Smith was the one in New York who was, and I can tell you this. Our first year we came into the league, I watched Kevin and Larry Brown play at the highest level, and there's so many good players, man. There's so many good players. I forgot about, Ike was a starter. Kevin Smith came in later on, and in his second year, really shined in his second year. Kevin Smith should have been a Pro Bowler in his second year. That's how good he played that year, and didn't get the nod as a Pro Bowler. But I watched, the competition that we had at practice was just at the highest level. We bet on, I can't say it now because they always talk, but we bet on everything. Interceptions in practice, big hits during the game.
Right.
It never stopped. Brock Marion was another one that came into the fold that we had a lot of talent through and through and a lot of depth at the same time.
He might be the last free safety I ever remember that regularly returned kicks.
Oh, yeah.
That's how athletic he was.
Yeah, that's how
If you've got a free safety on that team full of athletes that you decide, look, no, this is the guy that we want to return the kick.
Yeah.
That's an athletic dude.
Yeah, he can cover man-to-man, do everything. Did everything, man. We would have a motion, and if it was a wide receiver, we didn't bring a nickel all the way in all the time. If there was a wide receiver, and it was three wide receivers, and I was covering one, and he motioned to the other side. Just look at Brock, and Brock would just – I moved to the middle. He go – and that was the easiness that we could play with. And that wasn't the case my entire career because there were times where you just couldn't look at another safety and say, hey, go get that guy.
Right.
I had to run across
the trust factor.
Yeah, it was a trust factor.
You mentioned watching others on defense and how you then became a pro, but that was a team led by the best players, correct?
Oh, yeah.
You always hear about Aikman, the work ethic of Troy. What was that like watching him?
That's, again, every day I watched a guy who was the face of the organization show up early in the morning with his lunch box, dude. He used to walk in with his bag, and he'd be there before everyone else. And then later in the evening, his car, when you're leaving, his car is still out there. I'll tell you another one. Michael Irvin did not go home. I don't think Michael Irvin knew that he had a house. I mean, he stayed up there, and he worked his tail off in the off-season workout. So, people always say, well, during the season you got to do A, B, C, and D. The season started in our off-season was our off-season program. And the off-season program was, March? And you better, there's no voluntary, it's voluntary mandatory.
Right.
You show up or you lose your job.
Yep.
And that's how it was. That was the mindset early in the 90s. And I think Jimmy set the tone of what the expectation was. And when you have your players, the big names, the Michael Irvins and the Troy Aikmans and the Emmitt Smiths, when they buy into it and they buy into the offseason program, you better show up. You have no choice but to show up. So that's how we won championships, because guys were on the same page. And
better have a doctor's note.
Yes, right. Yeah.
You better have a doctor's note. Moose was here the other day, and he mentioned Alvin Harper.
Yeah.
Just run, like, he said part of the way that they practice now, they maybe don't get it. Alvin Harper ran all day.
All day.
I heard Jason Garrett used to say that all the time when he was the head coach. Was like, he told Dez, he's like, look, Dez, you're a fantastic athlete. You have nothing on Alvin Harper right now because Alvin ran all day.
Oh, man.
Would you like watch guys like that and kind of be in awe of like, I'm tired, and here's this guy doing? He would run everybody's 110s, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would train in the off season, and Alvin, God bless him, dude. He used to run in his jock strap. In his jock, and I'm giving up all kind of information, but between him and Michael Irvin, dude, they could care. They would run all day long. And I'll tell you what, Alvin Harper. And we talk about Mike and all the other guys, but Alvin Harper was a guy that it was continuous. He'd run a 9 route, come right back, jog back, run another 9 route, run the scout team routes as well for us and give us a good look. And it was continuous. He was a track guy, but he just never got tired. But here's my story. I'll give you a quick one. My first year in 92, I came in as a young rookie, and it was the off-season program, so I'm just getting acclimated. And I remember it was July, and we were a week away from going to training camp. And where our training room was, you could overlook the practice grass, right? So you could see out in the grass, and I'm in the training room talking to our trainer, Jim Maurer, and I'm looking out his window, and I can see this guy running routes. And I'm like, who the hell? And it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're supposed to be gone because he had that break in between before you leave, like a week before you go to training camp. You're not supposed to be there. So I'm watching this guy run routes. He throws up, gets back on the line, squirts water in his mouth, stretches it out, keeps going. It's freaking Michael Irvin, man. He's just running routes by himself. No quarterback, just him by himself. 5 route, 4 route, go route, comes back, throws up. And I watch him throw up, and I'm like, he's done now. No.
He went back.
He went right. And I'm not even telling the story, dude. I'm telling you, you can sit and talk to Jim Maurer, who's the head trainer. And he said, Jim Maurer looked at me and said, welcome to the NFL, brother.
Yeah.
And that's what it was about.
Every NFL team's talented, even if a team struggles.
Yeah.
But was practice ever better than who you played on a
practice sucked. I'll be honest with you. Under Jimmy, practice sucked. It was just I was happy during game day. When it was Saturday, I was like, oh, my God, we get to hit someone else. Because we were full pads all the time. We were a young football team, right? And Jimmy had his thumb on us. Practice were competitive. There was a lot of yelling and screaming. Dave Campo and Mike Zimmer, Butch Davis and Wanstead. I mean, there was a whole lot of screaming about things, and guys were competing against one another because the depth chart was pretty competitive too, right? So you're fighting for your job. But Saturday came in, and it felt like the weight of the world fell off your shoulder. I'll tell you this: we used to play on Sunday games, and if I made a mistake in a Sunday game, Monday morning was hell. It was hell. If I made a mistake because Campbell had that clicker, and he would go over and over the mistakes and right in front of your peers.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was the hardest thing. So practice to me was harder than anything, man, and being around the guys in that fact.
It's such a weird thing to be like, oh, great, I get to cover Chris Carter now.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
love that part.
Like, no, man, I don't have to watch Harper just go and go.
Yeah.
I think Chris Carter might get tired. Yeah. Darren, the Cowboys, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time. The Jones family, it's such a strange thing because you can speak to this. They are driven by winning.
Yes.
They kind of just want to do it on a certain path. They're not as adaptable, and it's been a struggle. And I worry about Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know how good a head coach you can be if they're not going to open all the avenues to talent acquisition and building the roster that they just haven't in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
or so.
and I think that's been the big, and it's criticism that should be impose on this team. I mean, it's rightfully they should be rightfully criticized. They're the number one franchise in the world. The number one franchise in the world. And it's almost the same thing. Like, if you're not getting criticized, then where are you?
Right.
Are you relevant?
Right.
This organization has, regardless if they won championships or not, Jerry and the Jones family have done a great job of keeping this organization relevant. So with that comes the criticism. Why haven't you won a championship? I guarantee you, Jerry would tell you right now, I deserve the criticism. Criticism doesn't bother this organization. That's called greatness, right? You get criticized when you've done something special to have the number one franchise in the world. You've done something. So you deserve the criticism that comes along with it. This organization it starts with culture, and I think that's the one thing you hear about Schottenheimer when he came in. Where is the culture? We got to change the culture. Here, and I think in-house they continue to push that same message and the same narrative that Schottenheimer allows them to continue to build upon the culture that's there. Dak Prescott is the quarterback. He's not going anywhere, fellas. Just signed a $60 million deal, right? He's not going anywhere. So the familiarity is there. But how do they build pieces around Dak and get the culture to where it is? I think you start all over. If you do start all over, I understand the criticism. I understand the mindset of, if I go outside the building and bring someone else in, here we go again. New offense, got a new scheme. Same thing they did last year. They brought Zimmer in on the defensive side of the ball. It took them the entire season until game 11 for them to finally figure out where they were. So they want to keep that same continuity. And if the Joneses want to do it that way, then there's nothing we can say that's going to change it.
But they became the most valuable franchise by winning.
Yeah.
By winning championships,
yeah.
not by just having glitz and glamour. They had that too, but they had that and winning. So
I think I can get back there, though, man. I'm still a believer. And here's the thing. Here's how I feel. Did I look at it and say there are coaches that are out there, there's better opportunity? I did. Personally, I looked at it and said, man, there's probably coaches that are out there that they could bring in and get this thing back on track. But at the same time, they made the decision to stay with Schottenheimer inside that building. So guess what? It's like any other situation. When we have a new president, or if there's an old president, to me, it's like I may not like this president, but now he's in, and now that he's in, I'm going to support him 100%. 100%. I'm an American. I'm going to support. I don't care who the president is. I'm going to support that president 100%. And it's the same thing with the Cowboys. And I'm not saying they're on the same level here.
Right.
The Cowboys brought in Shoddy and basically said that he's going to be our guy. I'm going to support it 100%.
Yeah, and you know what, though? Like, the thing is, the Cowboys have to do that, though, too.
Yeah.
The Jones have to do that, too. I think the thing is they have this very narrow view of how you acquire talent.
Yes.
And I think that's what's getting them. And
you would like to see them be a lot more active in
it's
free
not
agency.
just free agency. It's just also if you look at how the Eagles do it and how they negotiate contracts and how they're not afraid of free agents, they're not afraid of trades. The Eagles are the best at this, and
Paul,
they're in your damn division.
Paul, you're making too much sense. You're making too much sense. Paul. You're making too much sense, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and
copy what they do.
And I see it too. Like, we all see what the Eagles are doing, and you're like, man, why can't we, keep up? We're watching we watched Mr. Flutie. We're watching what the Redskins, or not the Redskins, the Commanders did last year, right? We watched them bring in like eight players from the Cowboys organization and get better.
And their coaches.
And their coaches.
You are here representing Choctaw, which is amazing. Just an hour or so from Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yes.
The amenities, the golf course.
Fantastic, man. So I've been a partner with Choctaw for 8 years, and the friendship has just been everlasting. So I take my family up to Choctaw. We drive about 55 minutes straight down 75, right across the border to Durant, Oklahoma, and I get everything I could ever want in a casino. The venue, the concert venue's spectacular. The steakhouse, the swimming pool is like a lagoon swimming pool that they have out there. I take the entire family out there. We have a good time, and I try to take a lot of my friends, clients, everyone up there and show them a good time. It's not, you don't have to fly to Vegas to have a good time. You just go up there, just drive down 75 and for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and you have everything at your disposal.
You are, and my last question for me is, you're a businessman.
Yes.
Real estate.
Yes.
What's more difficult, building that as a businessman or building an NFL career?
Individually building an NFL career? Is that what you're saying, or just building an NFL, like, getting everybody on the same page?
Either one.
I think I think a little bit of both. I've taken so much of what I've learned in the NFL.
Okay, there you go.
And applied it to business and relationships and partnership. It doesn't change. I think, on the real estate side, there's, you're affecting so many other people as a partner, as a business owner, because based on the fact that you're employing so many other people and you have to win, there's a life path here, because the person that you hire has kids and a family, and you want to see them do well. And I think that, to me, is, I've transitioned in my life from football to the business world, and I love it, man. I love the competition. I love to show up every day. I love to affect people's lives. And to me, I've transitioned from the sports world to this, and I love it, man. It's just everything that I've ever expected.
I'm curious, do Cowboy players transitioning to the business world have maybe a leg up on some other franchises because Roger Staubach did it so long ago and kind of like laid out the roadmap for your post-career?
Absolutely. We saw Roger do it, and Roger's been fantastic as far as coming back in the locker room, showing guys like Emmett, myself, and what life looks like after football. But I'll tell you another one who's probably impacted my career in the real estate world is just as much as Roger is Jerry Jones, because there's an open door policy all the time. You walk into Jerry's office, and is there a better real estate man in the country than Jerry Jones?
No,
he gives you the resources. He tells you, no, don't do it. Yes, but you may want to do it. Like, he gives you everything that you possibly need, and it's always been an open door policy for us.
Arizona State. I know we got to go. Arizona State, your alma mater.
Yeah.
First year in the Big 12. I got to tell you, you may not want to do another interview. I had them pick last. I didn't know.
I did too. I'm a Sun Devil. I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, my God. I mean, with the Levitt and Scatterbo and the way they played.
Yes. Coach Dillingham.
Yeah, no, he set the tone.
Coach Dillingham.
The best quarterback developer in the country.
Absolutely. Quarterback position is solid. They will be for the next few years. But when you talk about culture and changing culture, it starts with the head coach. And the head coach came in, Coach Dillingham came in, and I love him, man. He's fiery. Reminds me of a young Jimmy Johnson in a lot of ways. But they bought in. They bought into this. A team that probably shouldn't have bought in. A team that lost damn near everyone, including Jaden Daniels, who ended up leaving and going to LSU.
And NCAA infraction.
And he turned the entire program around. Best job I've seen all year.
Jaden Daniels, Johnny Wilson, Ricky Pearsall.
Yep.
Same offense.
Yep.
All in the NFL now.
Yes.
Different schools, yeah.
I hope to God the call comes tonight, and it's the one that's the right one.
I appreciate
you damn
it,
sure earn it, man.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Darren.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
You're
no
class
problem, Dave.
act.
Thank you.
As much
Paul,
of a class
appreciate
act
it,
as you
brother.
could find. Darren Woodson with us on 365 Sports in New Orleans.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
If you want quality and personalized service for all your air conditioning and heating needs, call Tradesman Services. They're a family-owned and operated company that has served Texans for over 30 years. Tradesman offers maintenance plans starting at just $12 per month and a free service call for all new customers. They're also experts in geothermal design, installation, and service. Visit them online at coolingwaco.com.
Cars priced right both day and night. Average your car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. Average your car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. Average your car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. Average your car in Waco, Texas.
Alan Allen Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Allen Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown!
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Allen Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
So we got Brian Asamoah, former Oklahoma linebacker, with us here in a second, now current Minnesota Viking. But I did, before this, this is my friend Mike Gill. We met 5 years ago. No, longer than that. Yeah, 5 years ago. Miami. We met 5 years ago in Miami. Our tables were next to each other. And Q discovered that we might look a little bit alike.
Yes.
I don't see it. I see it. It is so. There are times where somebody waved at me today, and I was like, I'd never met them before, and then it occurred to me, like, they must know Mike. They just waved at me, so I wanted our listeners to see. Yeah, here's the
Mike.
Yeah, here's the original picture.
And you guys are both wearing red?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are twins, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That was about 70 pounds ago. But, like, you know.
I tried to hold the same. I don't know about him.
Yeah, no.
You're hilarious.
I rediscovered sandwiches during COVID. It was it was glorious.
What's your favorite sandwich?
Yeah. What's your favorite kid? I don't know. Like, that's asking. Yeah. You get bored and you start doing I have a meatball.
Start doing stuff.
You start doing stuff and you're like,
you're funny.
I'm gonna make a meatball sub. I haven't had one in a while.
Man, you're funny, man. I like a meatball sub, man.
So, yeah, exactly. Brian, what's this year been like? You mean the ride of the Vikings? I know that you guys were riding high and then kind of got your wings clipped, but there's got to be some.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, but there's got to be a lot of positivity around the organization right now and what you guys are building and what Kevin O'Connell, who, I don't know anything about him, but I would have run through a brick wall for that guy.
For sure. KO, man, shout out to him. A great leader of men. And like you said, man, I'll run through a brick wall for him too because he's such a great coach. But the culture in Minnesota is definitely high-spirited. We know that we didn't play our best ball the last 2 weeks. And it's just kind of crazy, too, that the two games that we lost were against the Lions and the Rams.
Yeah.
Two teams that we both lost on short weeks. But I wouldn't say the whole season rides on those two games. We did a lot of great things. Sam played phenomenal. Receivers played real good. Everybody played a role into why we won 14 games. I think the next part is taking the step of becoming a better version of ourselves than we were the week before. And I think at the end of the year, we kind of struggled a little bit to get over the hump, after tough loss to Detroit, and then the week after again. We just got to find a way to get past it quicker and be ready to make some plays the next week, man. Well, you guys were one of the just the fun stories in the NFL this year, and you could feel that. I mean, my wife would kill me if I didn't ask you about the cell. She started. She wanted you guys to go so far because she loved the celebrations. Oh my gosh. She loved it. That almost seems to me as hard as like practicing, and it would be harder for me to learn a group dance, a celebration like that from a movie, even if it's from a movie or something. But all of that would be harder than
rookie year, learning all the calls and pretend you got to learn a whole bunch of new terminology. It would be way easier for me to be like, okay, what is 92 cherry jackrabbit split?
You're hilarious, man.
That would be easier.
On defense, I think it's much easier than offense. I've heard the offensive play call ridiculous, but man, on defense, man, we play in a certain coverage, man.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. So as long as we get everybody lined up, we can play super fast and then celebrate when we get a turnover. I think that's the main thing that people are forgetting, man, is that we have to earn the right to celebrate. And I think every week we earn that right. We averaged a takeaway each week. And that's something that we believed in. We knew that we're going to do it. The art of being able to practice something is because we all had the confidence that we were going to go out there and go get a turnover. And we couldn't wait to celebrate that turnover together with our teammates, man. So shout out to Cam Bynum for orchestrating this whole, dance recital thing and choreographing everybody, man. Shout out to him and Josh.
But I think sometimes that gets us ready to like what that does just for some teams, they're good, but nobody's friends. Right? And I'm sure you've been part of teams like that.
No, I haven't, honestly.
Never?
In Minnesota, I was drafted in Minnesota, so the culture we have, man, we all love each other. But people don't know that there's nothing to do in Minnesota. So the ability to have the camaraderie that we have, it takes a lot because we're with each other every day, and we hang out with each other every day. Your best players are hanging out with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a practice squad guy or, 7th-round draft pick or 1st-round draft pick. Everybody's on the team is hanging out with each other. So that's a kudos to the culture that, Kevin O'Connell has also instilled, that we're all literally friends with each other and we can hang out with one another at any moment. So
it's more rare than people would think. I mean,
100%.
because you can see good teams, but then their whole thing is we're good because I know that all these people are good and I trust them on the field. Yeah. But when the day is over, when it is I don't care. I think and those teams usually are good for a minute.
Yes.
The teams that are good for a long time, you can tell the Chiefs and the Eagles really like being around each other.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys like being around each other.
We're on the cusp, man.
Yeah.
On the cusp.
That's why you are, though.
Yes.
It's not just because you got a lot of good players.
Yeah.
You have Justin Jefferson. He's a unique talent, but
phenomenal.
What's okay?
One of a kind.
Okay, you have to, and luckily you're a linebacker, so you don't have to deal with him that much in practice. But you have to deal with him a little bit.
No, he's a dog.
Do you ever are you ever why? How did this happen?
I've seen some crazy stuff happen on the practice field and on game day, and it's just really man, you are blessed. You work hard, but God has blessed you with a very unique talent that you get to display every Sunday, and I love watching it. As long as the Minnesota fans as well, watching him go out there on Sunday and go out there and make some plays, man, is great for the organization.
You got a great fan base too.
Oh,
people that love you. Yeah,
the Skull, man. Listen, I don't know what our record was at home. I think we lost one game, but the bank gets loud.
Yeah.
The bank gets loud.
Yeah. I was in there for the Super Bowl when they had it there.
The bank
gets
loud.
It was when Philly won. And
Are you a Philly fan?
No, God, I'm from Dallas. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a suffering Cowboys fan. Yeah.
But no, man.
Here's the thing. Here's how I enjoy the NFL now.
Yes.
I watch players that I like. I still want the Cowboys to win, obviously, but I know the score, you know. So I watch players I like, players that I know, teams I like. I really liked watching you guys this year because you guys were. To me, it's like watching a cool television show.
100%.
So if you like a show, all right, well, the Vikings are a fun show.
Yes.
You know, this is a fun show to watch. The Chiefs, not so much of a fun show to watch because we're tired of it. It's been on
results every
it's been
3
on the
years
air,
now.
It's been in the air too long.
It's been in the air too long, man. It's good, but let's get it off the TV show now. Let's get something new.
Time for something new.
Let's get Squid Games out, man. We want to watch something new, man.
Exactly. So
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's just so really just enjoyed it, and then I just like seeing cool coaches, cool players, a group that really works well together. Sam Darnold's a fantastic story.
Great story.
He's been through the ringer, you know, and you think being unsuccessful in New York as a quarterback's easy on you?
It's not easy at all.
No.
It is tough that you bring a young guy in to kind of change that whole thing.
Here's what happens that people don't realize. They bring in a 22, 23-year-old guy.
Maybe 21 sometimes.
Maybe 21 years old.
Yes.
And a big rich billionaire says you are going to fix this.
Yes.
And then he probably doesn't feel like he's in a place because he's making a lot of money. He's a big high draft pick to go like, okay, well, what are you going to do to help me fix it? Because I'm all about fixing it,
what's
but
the solution?
What's the solution that we can work together as a team?
Together, you're saying it right, man.
Because football's a team sport.
It's a team sport.
And if that billionaire decides like, well, no, you're going to fix it. You're like, no. What else are we going to do?
You got to piece it all together, man. It's like a big puzzle piece, man. And if you put the right pieces where they need to be, man, you can see success. And that's exactly what we did, man. We built and created a wonderful puzzle piece where we've got unique players at every position. And now we're just finding ways to work within each other and, accomplish the ultimate goal, which is winning.
All right, you are a Boomer Sooner.
Oklahoma till I die.
Okay. You have now played in a great NFL venue.
Yes.
In one of the most – I remember the first time I went to a game in Norman. I was – you always hear about it, and like it like sometimes it becomes legend.
Yes.
That's a place that knows how to put on a football game.
Yes.
Like it is – I mean, from tailgating to the experience to all of it. The only complaint I've ever had is they never give me parking that's very close. But –
I've always had parking problems at Oklahoma.
Well, it's hard. I mean, Norman's not big, right?
It's not.
So like when you bring in 100,000 people or more, and there's 20,000 people that don't even go in. They're just out there to tailgate.
The stadium can only fit like 85,000.
Yes, 85,000. You got 25,000. They're just there to drink and watch it on TV outside.
It's nothing like an Oklahoma football game in Norman because, like you said, man, the tailgaters, the people that support. The old fans that still come out just to watch the Sooners play, it's nothing like anything other because it's like love in the air just to watch one sport, and that's football. The only thing that's going on in Norman is football, so you can understand from there why they're coming.
Oh yeah, and we have Barry Switzer on the show all the time.
I love Barry.
Oh, is he
great guy?
Is there no more fun dude in the world than Barry Switzer?
Barry is one of the coolest guys ever.
Yeah, he's very cool. So what was you had told Mike that you almost went to West Virginia. You thought about going there.
Thought about it.
What was it about Oklahoma that made you go?
First of all, I would say it was my position coach, Tim Kish. And it's kind of crazy because once I got there, he got fired. So unfortunately, but I only came to Oklahoma because of Tim Kish. He recruited me out of Columbus, Ohio. He was an Ohio guy. He went to Youngstown. And then we had the Stoops brothers who were all from Youngstown. So I felt a connection. I felt at home with the coaching staff. And that's why I try to tell these kids nowadays, like, don't fall in love with the coaching staff. Go to a university where you could go to school for the next 4 years if football didn't work out. Luckily for me, I was blessed enough to go to Oklahoma, a place that I enjoyed, a place that I would still go to school at if I didn't, play football. But also the coaches were amazing, you know what I'm saying? Despite, us playing not to our best on defense the first year and then, obviously everything having to happen, I still enjoyed every bit and piece and part of it because of the community. Like, I loved the community in Norman. I loved the people. I loved being able to go out there and wear the crimson and cream. Like, it was nothing like being a football player in Norman, and I will never forget that. But now, like, it's even much more fun because the competition is up now. Like, playing the SEC, you got to play football for 12 weeks to the best of your ability. So I love Norman.
Was it Bob Stoops that recruited you initially, or was it Lincoln Riley?
So don't get me started on Lincoln, but Bob was initial recruiter, and then obviously, Lincoln Riley got hired, so then Lincoln came to my house later in the recruiting process.
I want you to talk about your charity work real quick before I get you go, but I have a Bob Stoops impression. I want you to grade it for me. So a couple years ago, this is Bob Stoops after Baylor beat you guys when RG3 was there. I was in the press conference. And somebody asked him, like, Coach, what was going on in the fourth quarter? He's like, what's going on? We're getting beat. That's why.
Yeah, it's simple.
That's why. We're getting beat. All right.
He's trying to sound like
yeah. How is it? I did it for Drake. Stoops.
You did it good. You did
good
it
deal.
good.
Good deal.
You did it good.
You do a ton of charitable work.
Yes.
Tell me about your foundation.
First of all, I would say just all glory to God because, you got to be a servant leader. And that's something that God has instilled in me to become. But a little bit more about my charitable work. I have a foundation in Accra, Ghana, my hometown where my parents are from. So I have a flag football team where I created a league where these flag football teams can go out there and compete. It's 10 teams, all 14-year-olds, and I'm giving the kids the opportunity to change, their dynamic. Once back in the day, sports and just having the dream to play in the National Football League wasn't attainable. but I want to give these kids a goal and a platform where they can achieve these dreams. I want to change the landscapes of sports, period, in football in Accra, Ghana. So I know how football has given me the opportunity to change my family's life. I want to do the same thing for them, and that's what I've been able to do. So in doing so, I was also given the task to spearhead the Ghana national flag football team to compete in LA 2028. So next, they're going to be competing in Egypt this year in the Africa Championships against Nigeria, South Africa, and I believe we're going to come on top because I think that our guys are hungry, ready to make a big statement that sports in Africa, period, is transcending in the right direction, and the goal is again to cultivate a space where kids can really achieve their dream, and I believe that I want to give those kids that opportunity.
That's an awesome thing. I think flag football could take off there.
Flag football is going to take off.
It's a really easy sport to pick up and play wherever you are.
Yes.
Brian Asamoah, I'm so happy to Asamoah. I'm sorry.
You good?
Asamoah.
You good?
Asamoah. My apologies. Brian Asamoah right here, 365 Sports. So happy to meet you.
Man, thank you guys for having me. I had a hell of a time on the show.
Dante Hall coming up next.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
If you want quality and personalized service for all your air conditioning and heating needs, call Tradesman Services. They're a family-owned and operated company that has served Texans for over 30 years. Tradesman offers maintenance plans starting at just $12 per month and a free service call for all new customers. They're also experts in geothermal design, installation, and service. Visit them online at coolingwaco.com.
Cars priced right, both day and night. Average your car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. Average your car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. Average your car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. Average your car in Waco, Texas.
Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, Saquon, touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
One of the few men on earth who's faster than me. He's about to sit down. There's not many. Some people think they are. I know I can say this with absolute confidence that the fastest runner, this is a tough room to say that in, but at least faster than me. Dante Hall, Texas A&M, Kansas City Chiefs, Rams. My father was class of '65 at A&M, so I went to Florida State. The apple fell a little further from the tree, but I grew up. I still love the Aggies. I followed your college career as closely as possible. You were one fast cat, man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent that guy from Florida State to our school. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Took all that money from us. We're gonna keep it moving though.
Threw his Christmas tree out and left Tallahassee. They don't miss him there either, buddy.
Yeah,
they don't miss him there either. What do you think about Mike? Here's my theory on Mike Elko, and you played for R.C. Slocum, so you know this. We have Phil Bennett on our show every week.
I love Phil Bennett.
Yeah,
defensive coordinator when I was there.
Yeah, so we have Phil. Phil's a great friend of ours. I'm gonna ask him about you next week. But so we have Phil Bennett. I think this R.C. Slocum was the perfect coach for A&M because he got the culture, the identity of that team, of what they're supposed to be. You're not Texas, you're not Alabama, you're not. It's not about. There's a little flash, but you're not about the flash. It is a workman-like blue collar, and that's what Mike Elko is. Mike Elko's about my big guys are going to hit you in the mouth, and then the fast guys are going to run past you, and then we're going to do it again and again and again until you can't take it anymore. And I think they lost that.
I agree. We started trying to be this modern version of what offenses look like. At the end of the day, I don't care if it's 1925 or 2025. It's all about the trenches, and I think that's what Mike Elko is getting back to.
Well, I mean, you look at the two defensive ends he had last year, Skirton and Turner. I mean, holy cow, just wreaking havoc. And then I think, what do you think of Terry Bussey? He's a little bit like you.
Yeah, he got some skills.
Yeah.
A little more tougher to be able to run inside.
Yeah.
The outside bouncing is cool and all, but what allows you to be shifty and maneuver on the outside is having a threat to run it inside. You got to be able to run in between the trenches. So when you have an equal balance of both, then that's when he can really step it up to the next level.
Yeah. You what does it mean to you as an NFL kick returner to see Devin Hester finally get recognized and the position get recognized maybe more than it was, because special teams doesn't get Steve Tasker is to me a Hall of Famer.
100%.
Bill Bates is a Hall of Famer
100%.
to me. Yeah, I mean there are those
and
guys.
Then what's my guy from New England? His dad played.
Oh, Matthew Slater.
Matthew Slater. He is definitely a Hall of Famer.
I'm sure he hit you a couple times. You didn't like it.
No, he hit me.
Oh,
slow down now.
Yeah.
Slow down now.
So, but to get the recognition, Eric Metcalf, his dad Terry Metcalf, both of them, fantastic.
Brian Mitchell,
yeah, all these, the teams you were on had better field position or touchdowns because of you, and that just because it doesn't have, it's also the maybe hardest thing to do.
Huh?
I mean, returning a punt's pretty hard.
Oh, yes, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Playing quarterback is pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Playing left tackle is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Playing center is pretty hard. The thing that makes returning kicks very, very difficult is you have to bat 1,000.
Yeah.
Because any mistake you make as a return man leads to pretty much automatic points.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
As a left tackle, you miss a block, you get the quarterback sack, you can punt it away. Quarterback, you throw an incomplete pass, it's okay. You drop a punt, that's usually at least 3 points, more than likely 6 going the other way. So having to bat 1,000 just in catching it is what really, really makes returning kicks difficult.
Do you like what they've done with the kickoffs?
I like the emphasis of it. Obviously, I wish it could be like it was when I played, but because of safety protocols, I get it. But I do like the fact that it looked like at one point we were going to phase out the return game and just start putting the damn ball on the 25 and go from there. So I love the emphasis of trying to keep the return a part of the game we love so much.
I mean, there's very few things that are more exciting. I mean, think about all the what a stadium does on a return.
All you got to go do is look at the Washington Commanders game versus the Cowboys when Kevontae Turpin took that ball to the house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you miss when you eliminate the return game. Those type of plays, right? But again, it's all about safety protocol. I don't know if people know this, but the majority of concussions came from special teams.
Yeah.
So they had to do something about that. I mean, it's the only play in football where you have a 70, 80-yard buildup and you collide with another human.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To think about. You don't even do that on regular offense and defense, right?
Yeah.
15, 20, 30 yards max.
Yeah.
70, 80 yards. So I get it, but like I said, I'm happy that they're at least trying to keep it part of the game.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. Now, you were a Chief. You
was a Chief, am a Chief.
Yeah.
Was, am, and always will be. And when I die, bury me in Arrowhead, and I'm going to cheer from the grave.
That's right. The right now, the most dominant franchise in professional sports, probably.
That's right.
Like, the most dominant. Like, they are doing it, and they are doing it different ways, which is what makes you, especially now where things can are so much more, change a lot faster. Philosophies change. Coaches figure out. I mean, like, they spend all offseason video like how we're going to do this, and it's not the Tyreek Hill throw the ball over the top and then break their spirit. It's play tough defense, have the best quarterback in the league, run the ball, and then if we're not having our best day, as long as it's right here, 15's got us.
There you go. And that's the key. Just get us to that moment, whether it's throwing it over your head with Tyreek, whether it's running the ball with Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, whether it's a close ball game because the defense is just stuffing the other offensive team. Don't end up in that moment because we know what 1-5 is going to do. I saw a stat. I don't know if it's Trey Wingo. Somebody put a stat out. I don't know if you saw it. Tom Brady in those moments, I think his percentile was like 40, 50%, which is like, I think it was number 2 all time.
Yeah.
Joe Montana was like 30, 40%, third all time. Patrick Mahomes in that moment, 10 for 10.
Yeah.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah. It's something we've never seen in this game. And
well, we've seen it with Tom.
We've seen it with Tom.
We've seen it with Tom.
But to the level of, like, it's just automatic with him.
We've seen it with Tom, but Patrick has definitely, in my opinion, taken a step further.
It's almost like, Magic Johnson took the NBA to here, and then Michael Jordan took it to here.
And then LeBron is stretching it even further.
Yeah, like, so you like Michael, Kobe, LeBron, like, so you got there and you grow on it because you saw that.
Yep.
Golf is better because Tiger
100%.
Reset what greatness was, like what you needed to do to win.
Now you're talking my language.
Oh, you a golf fan?
Oh, golf fan. I'm a golfer.
Okay. So, all right.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he completely reset the board.
100%.
And Patrick Mahomes has completely reset the board. Everything everybody's doing, even in teams that don't play them regularly, is to figure out how do we get one over on this guy. And that, like, the same thing if Tiger was in contention on Sunday, then you are playing a different game than you're playing a different game than you normally do, because you know that, like, if he's got to hit one 350 down the line, he's going to do it, and it's just can't.
It makes offenses call their offense different.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to give the ball back to 1-5.
Yeah.
It makes defenses call things different, and special teams have different strategy because we've seen it time and time again. If it's 3 minutes, 1 minute, 13 seconds, does not matter. Do not let this man have the ball in his hand to dictate the outcome, because we know what that outcome is going to be.
That's so true. Dante, it's so great to meet you. Been a big fan for a long time.
Brother.
This was so much fun. Tell us about Mueller.
Man. Partner with Mueller, big fan of their products. Think about this, right? This is one of the few products that benefits athletes and the average citizen. How so? We all have active lifestyles, no matter if you're a parent, working, no matter what you're doing, you're active. You're going to need some type of product to help you recover from day-to-day life. I'm a big fan of Revive. It helps with my recovery as a golfer, because I'm not a football player anymore, but I'm an avid golfer. But sometimes I come off that golf course, I feel like I just played a game. But I don't have the training staff that the professional team provides. Can't afford 3 or 4 or 5 massages a week, but I can afford this. And it's a great product, and it gives me the same result as if I was getting an hour, 2-hour massage in 20 minutes.
Do you ever play with Phil Bennett? He plays about 3-4 times a week.
I haven't played Phil yet. I've seen Phil on the golf course, but I haven't played with him yet.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to get this. You, me, Phil. I'm a terrible golfer. Smokey's a great golfer. He's not here, but we're going to get this done.
Let's make it happen. Tell Phil he don't want to smoke.
I can't wait to do that. Dante Hall, Texas A&M, Kansas City Chief, Andrew Zimmern's coming up next. This is 365 Sports.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game. Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott understand these are difficult and changing times we live in, but they know how important your financial investments are to you. So is your financial advisor staying in touch with you and helping you navigate today's financial climate? Invest with Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Chuck Verno, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, who invest their time and experience back to you and your money. And like coaching athletes, investing money is about time, patience, and encouragement. Contact Ben Erlinson at 254-759-8533. Brad Wilson's location at 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, and Cam Heathcott in Conroe. Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, proud sponsors of 365 Sports. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Experience the excitement of Truck Month at Allen Samuels. The perfect opportunity to drive home a true champion. The Ram has earned the prestigious title of 2025 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and we're marking the occasion with unbeatable deals on new Ram 1500, Ram 2500, and more. Whether you seek power, luxury, or extraordinary capability, Allen Samuels has the perfect truck tailored just for you. But these deals won't last long. Allen Samuels, your trusted truck partner.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Welcome back, Paul Catalina. Andrew Zimmern, one of our favorite guests here. Andrew, we are neighbors because you have a production company in Waco.
No.
You know? Oh, you left.
No.
Oh, okay.
I have a production company that is out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
We do a lot of work
with
the Gaineses and the Magnolia Network and all the rest of that. And we produced 3 shows for them. My show, Family Dinner, Zoe Bakes, with Zoe Francois, and I'm blanking on the third one. No, we don't do any current stuff with them right now, but they're great people.
We were neighbors then.
We were neighbors.
We were
neighbors. But I got a kid in school in San Antonio. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's like I got a family in Texas.
Come on by anytime. Anytime. So it was weird when you walked past this morning. You were on the station in San Antonio.
Yes.
And looked over and we booked you for the show.
Yes.
I checked my email. Immediately, spilled milk came up. And it was almost like I felt like an Elon Musk moment. Like you must be, you must be controlling something.
That's funny.
But it was very funny. And then I saw the recipe there was foie gras pasta.
Yes.
Let's talk about that in depth because
it's one of the best things I've created in the last couple of years, influenced by a chef friend of mine named Michael White, who taught me the very simple trick. And, I don't know if he invented it or whether he just made it famous at his restaurant Maria in New York when he was there. But essentially, you saute mushrooms and shallots, and you reduce chicken broth almost to a glaze, but it's still brothy, but very, very rich. And then you puree that, and you start throwing in cubes of foie gras. And foie gras has so much fat content, it's very similar to butter. And so you're essentially emulsifying the sauce, making it thicker and tastier with foie gras. And, I have a little bit of apple brandy and sherry and herbs and other things in there. And then you just toss pasta in it. The starchy pasta water helps to hold the emulsification. And it is, as they say, blankin' delicious. And so I made this, and I put it up as my Valentine's Day recipe on Spilled Milk, because people want the recipe in advance of so they can order the stuff, right? And the reason why I like it for Valentine's Day is that what is better after great sex than pasta? And it should be rich and delicious in a small enough portion, so if you're thinking round 2, you're not, oh, babe, I ate too much, right?
Yeah.
And it is the type of dish that, while delicious to share with people over your dinner table in your home any night of the week, it's best made and eaten at 1 a.m. naked with someone you love. So it was perfect for Valentine's Day.
I love the way you think.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's like, that's
you gotta think the food thing through.
Yeah.
I mean,
what am I doing today? How does the food match
what's happening? How is it going to match up? I mean, I've gone out to some meals, and it just happens that way. The food is just insane. And then they start sending lots of stuff to your table, and you're like, I have to get on a plane and fly 14 hours to Hong Kong. This is going to be a problem. There's no sleep. There's no, I'm going to, bathrooms, like the whole thing comes in. So you have to be strategic with your dining, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So,
Spilled Milk is a nice little thing. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for subscribing.
No, I do. And, I subscribed the last time we had you on the show, you'd mentioned it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that.
I think it's a great deal. If people are interested, go to andrewzimmern.com. There's a link right there. If you follow me anywhere in social media, ultimately you'll bump into it. You can click a button and subscribe. I have subscription fatigue. I don't know if you guys do as well.
Yeah.
But if I get pushed one more article by someone who I admire that they read in a newspaper or magazine, and I click on it, and up pops that little thing that says, I have to spend $6.99 a month to read this article, something is wrong. And I think media companies, and this is TV, everyone is to blame, have to understand that part of the downturn in media consumption across the board, and part of the issue with the public at large, is subscription fatigue. And we spent 20 years eliminating bundling in the media world, and you know what we're going to go back to? Bundling, because that's how you can afford to actually pay attention to this stuff. And these companies are going to continue to go out of business. Now, if you spin off an ESPN, are people going to still want to watch their sports? Yeah. There's certain people who may be immune to it, but in general, it just drives me crazy. I'm spending more. You're too young. But when email was invented, they promised me you no longer will be a slave to the tyranny of mail. I think at that time I was writing 4 letters a week that required a stamp.
Yeah.
That's it, 4. I now get 500 emails a day, and if I don't respond to some of them, 6 people an hour later are like, you didn't respond to my email. It's like, sorry, it's Sunday, and it's my son's birthday.
Yeah.
Go blank yourself. Are you kidding me? The tyranny is in the email, right? They got it wrong. And so I think it's the same thing with a lot of this other stuff. We've got it wrong.
Do you remember, calling somebody, leaving a message, they don't call you back for 3 days, and then you weren't mad about it?
Of course not.
They just called you back, and they're like, hey, it's been busy. We were out of town.
Also, you had to rewind the tape in your answering machine.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, what is this guy talking about? But that is absolutely true.
I missed that.
And no one cared. They called you back. They didn't become resentful or angry with you or take it personally. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
I mean, like, I would call you and say, hey, Andrew, it's Paul. I'm trying to make the foie gras pasta. I lost the recipe. Can you just call me back and tell me what it is?
That's right.
And then 3 days later, well, I guess I'm not making until he calls me back, but that's no problem.
That's
I got to
right.
go to the store.
That's right.
And then you call back and be like, oh, well, you forgot the shallots. Oh, shallots. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's all
forget
it is.
The shallots make it. No,
Yeah,
they do.
but
You know,
like-
it's funny that you talk about, you know, as in everything in life, it is that beautiful mixture of things. If you don't have a certain element, of course it's going to taste good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you do kind of need the shallots. Shallots are a magical ingredient.
Yeah, no,
they really turn.
I switched making my pasta sauce. I started using shallots a couple
Game
times.
changer.
It's so different.
Game changer.
Yeah,
fully.
You just think. I mean, you can if you don't know, you think it's just a tiny onion.
Fully, it's not. It has a much different flavor when it's cooked, and very, very, very versatile. So
yeah,
superb.
So we'll talk about Taste of the NFL, which you are the king of now, right? Were you the official king of Taste of the NFL?
You know, I'm going to say sure.
Okay.
I'm definitely the person who's been doing it the longest.
Yeah.
Wayne Kostrowski founded it 35 years ago. 5 years ago, he sold it to Gen Youth. Gen Youth now produces and is the recipient of it. I'm still on Wayne's board for hunger-related events. We do a lot of other hunger-related, sports-related events. And I came on with Gen Youth because I believe in the mission, and I don't quit things. And so I guess I've been doing it the longest now. And I'm the culinary host. And we, 40 restaurants, 5 famous out-of-town chefs, Carla Hall, Tim Love, Mark Bucher, myself, Lashita Perry. We're going to be cooking things. 35 local New Orleans chefs, great restaurants, from Brennan's to Dakar and everything in between, all cooking. About 80 different beverage booths, the best wines, the best champagnes, the best bourbons, the best vodka, you name it. Last year there was a bottle of Louis XV there for people who wanted to, plunk down $500 for a shot. They were pouring free ones. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. They were small, but if you've never tasted it before and you wanted to see what all the fuss was about and you liked brandy, there was your chance. Live music. And by the way, 100 legends, Hall of Famers, current players, former players, all walking around, all, contributing for a cause. And that cause is to statistically eliminate hunger and doing it through programs in schools, which is where most kids find themselves, or where we can find most kids. And we are nowhere close to being successful. I was hoping 32, 33 Taste of the NFLs later for me. That's how many I've been doing. We wouldn't still be talking about childhood hunger. And I would like to tell you that we made a dent. The numbers keep floating. It's not the same bunch of kids. They've gotten older. And I hope they've found a more ready supply of food and stability in their life. But we're essentially still at the same place that we were 30 years ago. And as someone who is definitely, I don't know if I'm the main guy at Taste of the NFL, very nice of you to say, but I'm definitely one of the most activist chefs when it comes to solving hunger globally. I mean, I'm World Food Program Global Ambassador, International Rescue Committee, Nature Conservancy, Environmental Working Group, Taste of the NFL. I mean, you name it, I'm working hard. It's the majority of what I do right now is trying to make sure that we get people fed. It's genocidal. We have the resource. We have the money. It's a rounding error in terms of our federal budget. 0.0027% is all the money we need to statistically eliminate hunger in America. Somehow, the idea of spending money feeding people is met with deaf ears from both parties. I mean, this is not red or blue or left or right. I mean, this has been ongoing through the last 6-7 administrations. Okay, so this is not political. This is civics. And I am so angry that I am still fighting this fight over something that, I mean, everyone out there who's for keeping kids hungry, raise your hand. I mean, do we really have to do that? Do we need to take a hands count on this issue? The other thing is that some people are against it because, like, well, we don't want to pay the money that it costs to feed all these hungry people. And to them, I say, well, it's actually going to gain us back for every dollar spent, probably about $2. And they say, well, how is that possible? And I said, well, it's very simple. And we've had really impressive studies done by universities and colleges all around the world. We spend $1.5 trillion a year fighting the big four processed food-related diseases, like diabetes. No one ever got diabetes from eating too much broccoli, so I call them processed food-related diseases. If we were able to feed all Americans healthy, nutritious food, we would knock, immediately, according to economists and health professionals, immediately about 28% off of that number. It just would cease to exist, okay? That is 100 times more than it would cost us to solve the problem, just in that totem alone in healthcare. Kids who don't eat well are twice as likely to get caught up in the criminal justice system. So if we feed them, some of that cost goes away. Your health insurance dollars go down. If we're feeding them healthy, nutritious food, that means we're spending more money, billions and billions of dollars, on farms, regional farms, small farms, because you don't want to truck tomatoes and celery and lettuce and fruit and all the rest of that. You want to keep it regional. So we are thereby solving probably the biggest dilemma in the food system world, which is the disappearance of farms that are making food fit for human consumption. Because if the three of us decide to go into the farm business, we're going to farm something that we can put on a freighter and sell somewhere else, because then we're eligible for crop insurance, 100% of it every single year. If we are selling tomatoes, we get no crop insurance from no one any year. Doesn't exist.
It is.
So it solves multiple.
It's upside down.
It's upside down. And there's no one in any party, any politician, anywhere in America that can debate me on this issue. And it's insane to me that we can't get 60% of people. By the way, under any administration in the last 6 or 7, I mean, I'm being really serious here. This is not red or blue or left or right. This is just common sense stuff. It would save us hundreds of billions of dollars if we just spent the 14 to 17 billion and statistically eliminated childhood hunger in America.
Well, all these people say they want the government to run like a business. Well, the successful ones spend money to make money, right? Yes. They don't throw good money after
That's
bad.
Right. That's
this
right.
is throwing good money after good.
That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
And in fact, there are some really advanced studies out there because, food has become a rock the last 20 years, super popular, really big. There's some people in some serious think tanks who have done some really big number crunching on this, and the results are staggering. We do jobs programs in other countries as a form of national security, right? If people are happy and employed and feeding themselves in their country, that's why we do good works around the world, so that people are like, happy, stay where they are, all the rest, that kind of thing. So even if you are extremist on the left or extremist on the right, I got a win for you. It's called feeding people. Either way, right? But it is an international jobs program. It is a jobs program here in this country. It is something that positively net affects our healthcare, our criminal justice system, every single totem that you can poke a finger at and look up on the page. It helps. Feeding people helps. It's almost as if the ruler of the heavens, whoever he or she may be, whatever you choose to call it, has said, something? Whoever feeds people, you're going to win. Yeah. And I just am like, we just need to be feeding people. Yeah. Plus, it's like we happen to be the richest country in the history of civilization. Mm-hmm. We should, in my America, people, especially kids, are fed. I mean, do what look, I'm a fiscal conservative. People imagine, that I'm some sort of, radical, thinker on these issues. I'm a homemaker. I'm a single dad in Minnesota. I mean, it's like I just know what's smart for America is feeding people. We just got to feed people.
Well, I mean, look, you mentioned the criminal justice system. Think about how angry you get when you're like an hour past when you wanted to eat. Mm-hmm. Okay, add 12 hours.
That's right.
20 hours.
That's right.
2 days.
How about a family that can't afford to feed its kids? You think they're more likely to? You want to know what makes me steal a loaf of bread and some bologna from the corner store? It's a hungry child in my family.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anything else does that.
Yeah. No, that's true. I do want to ask you, because you are as well traveled as a human being can be, but because of your work. Where does this rank as a food city internationally?
It's the most important food city in America.
Oh, yes.
Not the best food city in America, but the most important food
What's
city
the best?
in America. New York, not even close.
Okay.
If Queens, which is one borough in New York, was its own city, it would be the best food city. I mean, just depth and breadth. There is nothing that can compete for it in terms of the depth and breadth. There just isn't, and I'll have that debate with anyone. I've offered that up for about 15 years. No one comes after me, so I think I'm right. What we consider American food, other than pre-contact native and First Peoples food, and we have to remember, everywhere where we stand in this country, we are on native soil. And we need to understand that decolonizing food is a very important factor of what we do. As diners, and as a sociologist and anthropologist myself, and someone who has some academic chops in this area and some wisdom about it, I understand all that. However, when someone says, what is American food? It's the food of the American South. Okay, that's it. I mean, no disrespect to the foods of the Pacific Northwest or where I'm from in New York or New England or the Midwest, but American food is the food of the South for many, many, many reasons. New Orleans is the most special of all that because the food of the American South was birthed through New Orleans, which, yes, St. Augustine, Florida was the very first big American city. I know the history. However, St. Augustine, Florida is not an important food center, and it died immediately after the Spanish got chased away the first time. New Orleans became the most valuable trading port almost in this hemisphere at the same time that Havana, Cuba was. And it was really the two of them. There's symbiosis there, in importance at the same time historically. But the food that came over from Africa in the most shameful period of our history, on slave boats from Western African countries, that food, those styles, those flavors, mingling with the flavors of the Caribe Indians, the colonial foods of Spain and France, got shaken up into a jar and spilled into the port of New Orleans. And from there, it went everywhere because it was the most delicious thing people had ever tasted. That melting pot of flavors is our best melting pot of flavors. And the foods that have, and by the way, the Mississippi River flows from Minnesota, my home state, straight down into the Gulf. And the Acadians, who were escaping religious prosecution in Canada, came down through the United States. They stayed for like a generation or two in Stillwater, Minnesota. Really cold. They said, screw this, let's go south. And they came down here, and they stopped almost before they got to New Orleans. And so Cajun food, we take credit for in Minnesota. That was a joke, people. But it is the most important cuisine that we have in America is here. And its deliciousness, it is the only city in America that when you say its name, you can smell it and taste it. There's no other city like that. And I just get excited every time I'm in this town to eat this food and these flavors.
I took them to Toop's Meadery last night. Have you ever been to Toop's?
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac and his wife are good friends.
Yes. Just the meadery board alone is an unbelievable thing. I've been there twice. I've had different things each time. It's a miracle.
You know, and Miss River and Herb Saint and, Compare Le Pen and Le Petit Grocery. And, I could name 100, Willie Mae's Scotch House and Dumalisa's and Parkways for Po' Boys and Mother's and R&O's out in Metairie, which is my favorite. And on it, you could just keep Cochon Butcher. You just keep going on and on and on. What spectacular food there is in this town, and like a European city, everyone here takes food seriously, So if you don't cook good food, you don't last long here.
No.
So the percentage of hits, and by the way, we've not talked about the exquisite Vietnamese food that's cooked here. Post-Katrina, the Vietnamese came in here and saved the shrimping industry here in New Orleans, and they took up in great numbers here. And by the way, pre-Katrina, there was not a Mexican population here. The Mexicans came up from Mexico and took jobs Americans wouldn't take and did all the hard labor rebuilding the city. And now there's great Mexican food and there is great Vietnamese food in this town. That's post-Katrina stuff. Pre-Katrina didn't exist. You add that into that mix, oh my God. Delicious.
Andrew Zimmern, Taste of the NFL. So many great shows that you've done. Wild Game Kitchen is the one right now.
In premieres, Monday nights on Tastemade.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. See it again. But I love Wild Game. Like, it's one of those things that if you can do it right.
Well, I'll leave you with this. For those that are listening, if you just buy chicken from the supermarket, you can make the rest. We make sure you don't have to hunt and fish to cook the food, but I do cook wild food over open fire, which just makes it more fun to watch.
And you feel like a caveman, don't you?
Well, I also make mistakes, and I think people like it when they see cooks make mistakes. We don't cover that up.
That's awesome.
That's why it's a great show.
Yeah. One of the best, Andrew Zimmern, my favorite guest every year here on Radio Row.
Thank you.
This is 365 Sports.
Hi, I'm Mark Stewart with Bird Colgan Ford. It's that time of year, it's football season. Bird Colgan Ford is a proud supporter of the best high school football right here in Central Texas. BK Ford is proud to sell the #1 selling truck in Texas, the F-Series truck, 47 years in a row. Come see the largest showroom in Texas and experience better at Bird Colgan Ford.
Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott understand these are difficult and changing times we live in, but they know how important your financial investments are to you. So is your financial advisor staying in touch with you and helping you navigate today's financial climate? Invest with Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Chuck Verno, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, who invest their time and experience back to you and your money. And like coaching athletes, investing money is about time, patience, and encouragement. Contact Ben Erlinson at 254-759-8533. Brad Wilson's location at 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, and Cam Heathcott in Conroe. Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, proud sponsors of 365 Sports. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
Rolling, Mahomes, he can keep it, he can get there, he's in for the touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
Back at Super Bowl 59 NFL Media Headquarters in Radio Row, Mark Singleton and Thurman Thomas, the great Hall of Fame running back here with us. Craig Smoak is out today. Paul Catalina and I'm David Smoak. When you come to Radio Row, and I know it's been a long time since you played in the game, when you started coming to this, whatever this is called, I call it Gangs of New York in the middle of the day. I mean, it's a slugfest. What were your first impressions seeing so much yapping?
I didn't like it, man. It makes me nervous a little bit because I've never, reporters just weren't my thing. And I think growing up and stuff, I got off to a really bad start with a reporter like in high school.
Willowridge?
Yeah, Willowridge High School, right, And so ever since then, it's been like, oh, this here, what kind of questions are they going to ask me? What are they going to try to stir up or what is this? But, it's gotten better. Obviously, I can't even remember. The last time we were there in '93, I have no idea what it was then, but it's changed, and, it's good. I love to see the different type of guys that you see in these interview spaces because you might not know about them, and so it gives the fans and everybody a chance to get to know them.
The first one I ever went to was the one in L.A., Cowboys and Bills, and there were like 12 radio stations. Down at the bottom of the Century Plaza Hotel. Really, there was hardly anybody there. And then, of course, you just started multiplying, and here we are with what it is today.
Thurman, the Bills are right there. Is the fact that Patrick Mahomes exists and walks this earth the reason that they can't break through? Because it looks like they're doing pretty much everything else right.
We're doing everything right, man. We're doing everything right. We obviously have a great record against them during the regular season, but when it counts, we're 0-4. And we just can't get over that hump, man. And every game has been like last possession game. There hasn't been blowouts or anything. And to be honest with you, Josh has probably outplayed Patrick Mahomes. But it's just something with clock management or not a play being called right or scripted right. So, we've just been close, man. I take my hat off to Andy Reid and the Hunt family and what they've done there with Patrick Mahomes and what he's accomplished there. And, I'm an AFC guy, so, both of the guys at quarterback are from Texas. So, but I'm an AFC guy and just love what they've done. But the Bills, man, they need that. I don't know whether it is. Is it another wide receiver? Or for me, I think it's a defensive player. There's already been chatter about we're going after Myles Garrett or Max Crosby because we need somebody like that. Right. We need a game changer. And, hey, look, I love Von Miller and the years that he's had over the years, but he just – when he had that injury a year and a half ago, he just wasn't the same. And once you get older, your skills do diminish, no doubt. Mine were high, and all of a sudden I hit like 30, and all of a sudden, I felt like I was 260 when I was only 240, but my body was aching. So, but I just think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid just have a great system together.
You were able to get to 4 Super Bowls. They have not been able to. But if you would have won the first one, the Giants, the field goal with Norwood, had you won that one, would you guys have reeled off a couple in a row, or would it have been like everything else, it's hard to keep on winning at that level?
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. I know if some people have said, had we won that first one, we probably wouldn't have went to 3 more.
Right.
So it's just how it is, because looking at our standpoint, we were hunting, and if you win, now you're being hunted. It's a different mindset that you have. Hey, going to 4 was tough. Well, getting to 1 was tough, too. Getting to 1 was tough, too. But obviously having the 4 losses, man, hey, it happens. This is pro sports. I'd rather be on this side of the Buffalo Bills than that side of the Cleveland Browns.
Right. Yeah.
So,
No, you're right.
So, there's teams behind us that, that still are having to.
Dallas,
even Dallas, man. They're supposed to be America's team, man.
Yeah, they haven't done much.
They haven't done much. So
it might be South America's team right now. I don't know.
That's a good one.
No, I say as a lifelong Cowboy fan, I say that. The league for a minute forgot about running backs, Thurman.
Right.
And it's weird how trends happen where somebody decides that, we've got to save money here. Oh, we can save money on the running back position. Right. And then they're wondering like, hey, why aren't our offenses as good? Or why can't we do this? Well, because the defense have now adjusted. And so running backs kind of got together. We're like, hey, this is BS. And a couple of them this year, like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, who's here this week. A ton of others showed out, and now all of a sudden people are like, maybe we need a running back now.
Yeah, I probably. I was not just including myself, Emmett, Barry, Eric Dickerson, Marcus Allen. We were all like, oh my God, thank God somebody wants to run the football. Somebody wants to be physical at the point of contact. Like. That's what football is. It's about running and tackling, right? It was never really about throwing until, Peyton Manning came along, Tom Brady and Drew Brees and all these guys. So I think where everyone was looking for, we need pass rushers. You still have these pass rushers, but they're, 240, 250, 260? Well, we got a 320-pound linebacker that can run block and pass block. And I guarantee you, if I put him against your pass rusher now, we'll win the matchup right now. And I think that's why the running back game is starting to come, because you have to be a physical football team, really. Almost like Baltimore. Baltimore defensive front is physical. They're fast, and they can get to the quarterback, and they can stop the run. So, yeah, I think the times have changed where, you're just going after the passer now. That's going to stop now, I think. And there's supposed to be a couple of nice running backs coming out of college this year, too.
From Texas.
From Texas, right?
That's right.
I'm really looking forward to it, because I think, some of these younger quarterbacks that are coming into the league, you need somebody to take some of that edge off of you, and the running game is it.
Mark, you've been a part of this now for 16 years. This is a great deal. She's been a part of it for a long time, too. We've always got the box of the pork rinds and all that. You've seen Thurman representing your company and pork rinds because of what he's done. Just the journey of the first time you've been here, and now here we are a decade and a half later.
Well, you were mentioning early how much bigger this thing has gotten. It went from a handful of people 15 years ago to one of the biggest parties on earth.
Yep.
And everybody's here. What kills me is you're liable to see anybody here. And this has done so much to raise awareness for Coach Ditka's Gridiron Great organization, which Thurman's a great part of. Right. I've been on the board now for 15 years. And tonight we're going to have a great party and raise a ton of money to help players that played before the big money, before the pension. If you played before 90, there's real monetary issues that a lot of these players have, a lot of health issues, a lot of brain injuries, and Coach's Foundation and Karen at the Gridiron Greats helps literally dozens and dozens of players every year with critical medical need, critical hardships, and we're just so proud to be a part of it and be with here Thurman talking about Pork Rind Appreciation Day and the Gridiron Greats.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood, just to hear some of the stories, and and you know what? I think as a professional athlete, you take a lot of pride in what you do and how you play the game. And sometimes it's tough for a lot of guys to want help, And I think that's Mike Dicker and the Gridiron Greats have made it so much easier. Just hey, just give us a call and talk to us, and we can handle everything. It has been
the stories
tremendous.
Are amazing of the people they help, and to your point, these are some of the warriors. They've been warriors the whole life. To ask for help is very, very hard. Well, Coach makes it so easy.
We've had military veterans who have dropped by to talk about PTSD and some that have lost limbs and how the transition sometimes just from that career or where it's a routine-oriented thing and then all of a sudden into real life. And in this case, Yeah, when Mike Ditka was walking around, there were some people like, like it was Mike Ditka, but they were like, what? No one really understood what the passion was of Gridiron Greats. And now it's like, you guys are here. You're supposed to be here, and we love it when you are here.
Yeah. And most people don't get to pick, too,
no,
when they retire.
That's right.
Like, most people don't get to pick when it's over.
Yeah, when it's over, it's over, you know. And the thing about it, it's not just football, too. It's basketball, it's baseball, it's hockey, it's a lot of different sports, and I don't know, what's involved with it, but I know one thing there. Mike Ditka and the Gridiron Greats do a hell of a job.
I have one question to ask you before we let you go. You had the coolest old school face mask.
Old school
the
face
mask. If you were playing today, would you wear one of the cool ones, or would you say, give me my 4 bars like that?
You know what? I would probably say, give me my 4 bars, man, because
you and Kenneth Davis both had the 4 bars.
I was in a blue-collar town. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wore a brace on my knee, so I was just a rough, rugged type of guy that ate chicken wings and drank beer. And you know what? If the chin strap came unbuckled on one of the 2 snaps, just let it go, and just, I do the because, my idol was Earl Campbell. Mm-hmm. And once I got that face mask in high school, in the 7th grade, I stuck with it for the rest of my life because of Earl Campbell.
His brother Tim passed away this week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
really?
I know you guys are close.
Yes,
I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
Thurman, thank you very much.
All
Mark,
right.
as always, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Willow Ridge, Oklahoma State, Buffalo Bills, Hall of Fame. This is 365 Sports in New Orleans.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
If you want quality and personalized service for all your air conditioning and heating needs, call Tradesman Services. They're a family-owned and operated company that has served Texans for over 30 years. Tradesman offers maintenance plans starting at just $12 per month and a free service call for all new customers. They're also experts in geothermal design, installation, and service. Visit them online at coolingwaco.com.
Cars priced right both day and night. At Richard Car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. At Richard Car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. At Richard Car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. At Richard Car in Waco, Texas.
Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets hit, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, Saquon, touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
Ball, Texas.
Yes,
Texas
sir.
Longhorns. Green Bay Packers, Jermichael Finley, and I started with die ball. Because East Texas is Beast Texas.
Beast Texas, baby.
Beast Texas.
Beast Texas. That's what football was invented.
Yeah. All right. If you had to, and I think because East Texas isn't like there's not a big city in it, right?
Yep.
So like Miami, Dallas, Houston, they have all these like, you know, Tampa's got some, Atlanta, they get all this concentration of talent and people say it. But if you lined up, just went from Marshall down, do you think that that East Texas could rival any of those places?
Absolutely. We were talking about that not too long ago in the debate that I was having with some friends. It was like, man, I can go down to East Texas and we can cut off on the Angelina County line and I can get all them kids down there and get a whole team.
Yeah.
It's just the thing, they don't get out of school. But if I was to go collect all of them that didn't finish school and all the guys that got in trouble and all of those guys and collected all of those guys in one circle, beats Texas.
Yeah, I absolutely true. Absolutely. So what's it like now your son Caden's getting recruited?
Oh, yeah.
What is it like being on this side of it as a dad and the experience that you can give him that now is really, really different?
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Yeah. One thing I do, I try to for sure stay out of it. I try to make it his process, but I'm the filterer. I'm the overlooker. I'm the Jerry Jones of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just so much different now because they can come do a lot more NIL, and the kids got social media out the out the woodwork. So I just try to tell him to keep everything small. You know what I mean? Keep it small. The decision you make, don't make it on the uniforms, don't make it on the city. Make it on the relationship of the coaches and a family. Because this is going to be a 3 or 4 year process.
Yeah.
And I just try to make sure he see the big picture in the thing.
Yeah. What you had Mac Brown recruiting you.
Oh yeah.
Which we just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He's moving back to Austin.
Yep.
All of that. What was it like being recruited by that guy? And then obviously you went to Texas, and I know I'm sure it was a battle from everybody in the area for you. But but when Mac Brown walks in, does it kind of like trump almost everything else for you?
Yeah, it's just like anything else nowadays. All the big colleges that's going on. You got the Kirby Smarts, you got the Sarkeesians, and you got the Freemans of the world. If those guys walk in your living room and say, the sky's blue, you're going to be like, the sky's purple, you're going to be like, oh, I think so.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? They're the head man, and they creating winning programs. So I think Mac Brown was one of those guys. He could have ran for president at the time.
I think I'd vote for him
still
tomorrow.
Could. Yeah, he still could.
Let's get him. I think he can fix more problems than most of those guys can.
Yeah, and be very smooth and calm about it.
Yeah, no. My father went to A&M. I went to Florida State.
I feel bad for him.
But I grew up here's the thing. I grew up, hating the Longhorns.
Yep.
And I mean, I'll just admit I probably never stopped doing it a little bit, but when you meet someone like Mac Brown or Steve Sarkisian, it's really hard because you're like, oh no, this is a good dude.
Yeah,
this is a good dude.
Solid cat.
This is a good dude right here, and now I'm not so mad when you win, and that makes me mad at me for being mad about being the thing,
No, and that's what makes Texas so great. We do get great coaches, great head men, great city guys that takes care of the city and take care of our players also. So Sarkeesians, the Mac Browns of the world are just tremendously outstanding coaches also.
What does it mean to you to see the revival in the program that Steve Sarkisian, you guys built a lot there. And then there was a decade where I think there was a lot of stolen valor of the players. Like they walked in and they're like, oh, I'm a Texas Longhorn. And they forgot that
play.
That Roy Miller and Vince Young and Colt McCoy and Quan Cosby and Jermichael Finley's they built that stuff. You guys built it.
And I think a lot of history in that program of guys that's coming in now, they see it. I see guys hitting me up often. They're like, thank you, OG. Thank you, you know what I mean, vet, thank you, whatever, you know what I mean, big bro. So they know, you know what I mean, and I think it's coming back as we speak, you know what I mean, slowly but for sure. But I'm excited to see where Texas is going to go in this next couple of years also.
Of the quarterbacks in this league right now, obviously I'm sure as a tight end you would love to play with Mahomes because he loves his tight ends.
Right, he does.
But is there someone that you would like, man, I would have loved to catch passes from that guy?
Of course, Mahomes. Of course, the Tom Brady's of the world. Even Jared Allen. I like him also because he's a gunslinger. He loves to throw it. Guys of that nature, of course. But once again, I have one of the best at the position, so it's hard to say that when you have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my career was awesome, and man, I'm just looking forward to seeing what my Longhorns and the Packers are going to do this upcoming season.
Yeah. You like Jordan Love? You like what you see from him?
I like Jordan Love. He's got all of his footballs in front of him.
Yeah.
He's got a ton of football in front of him. So excited to see what he's going to do.
What is it like being a Packer? I mean, that is, you've got two different things. Because in Austin, it is like, it's kind of a different thing. And then you go to Green Bay where it's like it's almost like you go from working for like a big company to working for a mom and pop, right? Like it feels that way. It's small. The draft is there this year. It's a different experience of maybe any professional sports team in the world, right?
Yeah, it's just like reading a book. Austin is a dictionary. Then you go to Green Bay, it's like a picture book. Everything is so vague. You know what I mean? It's simple. You know what I mean? And when I got to Green Bay, it was very simple. You knew where you ate. You knew how to get to the facilities because it's not too big to get around. And just the fans was just so awesome. You know what I mean? It was just a fan base that you cannot find anywhere else. And that's one thing that I left with from Green Bay.
Yeah, it's one of our producers back home, Jack McKenzie's a huge Packers fan. He's going to be jealous that he missed this one. You were here with Mueller Sports, and they've got this really cool thing. So, you, as a former NFL player, this kind of stuff wasn't like it was just kind of coming around when you were in the league.
Yeah, at the time it was a normal text. Now investing with these guys, my time and all the things. Mueller Revive is one of the best things smoking right now because of, you know what I mean. I had tons of wear and tear, and I'm still running with my kids and doing all that thing.
Yeah.
So when I get home, I throw these bad boys on. I put 95 pressure on them, and I do 30 minutes every day. And my legs feel rejuvenated daily, and it gets me going for my next exercise the next day.
You have how many? 5?
I got 5 boys.
5 boys.
Yep.
You're like, how much milk you go through in that house?
You're right. I probably go through a gallon, 2, 3 a week.
Yeah.
3 a week.
My best friend had 3 brothers and a sister.
And eggs. Eggs. Yeah, bro. We probably spend a week of groceries, probably $1,500, 2 racks.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So how often do you you guys go to the store, you think like, hey, I'm going to come home and have this.
Yeah.
And then you open the fridge and it's gone. You're like, what the hell?
Every other day we grocery shopping, no joke. Not even kidding. Now it's Uber groceries. You got all these grocery sites now. You can just go in and do what you want.
So you now have to train yourself to like, if I want to eat this, I better take it with me?
Yeah, I better get mine in. Because I usually do. I tell them to make my plate first.
What was Chris Rock's joke was Daddy only gets the big piece of chicken?
Give me the big boy.
Yeah,
and y'all get the ones around it. Yeah, I got to eat first. Straight up.
Yeah. So how far along is Caden in his recruiting process? It's still pretty early for him, right?
It's early, but we're making him chop it down to turn into a pro and make him go into the season playing football. You know what I mean? I don't want him going and worrying about this, worrying about that. I want him to commit somewhere, and we're going to ride it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're going to go back to the old-time religion.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of new opportunities, but the old-time religion, I like the way you say that, like, those things kind of work when you decide, like, don't decide where you could be for a minute. Like, I think a lot of guys going like, well, if I don't like this, I'll just transfer. No, go where you're going to be in love with, and then if you have to transfer for whatever reason, then transfer. Don't transfer. Don't go somewhere and go, well, I'll just be here until I don't like it.
And you can't do that. I think it's messing up college football and messing up youth today because guys know they can go somewhere. They don't like one little thing about it. They can say, I'm out of here. And I think they need to put a filter on it and change a couple things around.
Well, I mean, it was not easy from day one for you at Texas, right? And you were highly recruited, right? So I'm sure you had times you're like, you know what? I'm going back to die ball. I'm going back. Like, I don't want to lift another weight. If this dude yells at me one more time, Mac's not as nice when we're practicing, like all those things.
Oh man, it was plenty of times that it was times that I was ready to bail out and say I'm done with it. You know what I mean? But now that I'm here, it taught me a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to hear you say that. And Jermichael, it's always great. We've had you on. It's been a few years. We had you on in I would say in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, I remember you. I remember your face.
Yeah, thanks. See you there. It's hard to forget.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Well, it's nice talking to you again, man.
Always great to have you. Good luck to Caden. Good luck to the rest of the four boys, too. Good luck to you for surviving that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Yeah, Jermichael Finley here with Mueller Sports. This 365 Sports.
Hi, I'm Mark Stewart with Bird Colgin Ford. It's that time of year, it's football season. Bird Colgin Ford is a proud supporter of the best high school football right here in Central Texas. BK Ford is proud to sell the #1 selling truck in Texas, the F-Series truck, 47 years in a row. Come see the largest showroom in Texas and experience better at Bird Colgin Ford.
Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott understand these are difficult and changing times we live in, but they know how important your financial investments are to you. So is your financial advisor staying in touch with you and helping you navigate today's financial climate? Invest with Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Chuck Verno, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott will invest their time and experience back to you and your money. And like coaching athletes, investing money is about time, patience, and encouragement. Contact Ben Erlinson at 254-759-8533. Brad Wilson's location at 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, and Cam Heathcott in Conroe. Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, proud sponsors of 365 Sports. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC. Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
Rolling, Mahomes, he can keep it, he can get there, he's in for the touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
In 365 Sports, Zach Gelb in the flesh. It's weird that I'm not looking at you here.
Yes, on a computer.
Yeah, it's weird. We're here. This is where we get to see you every year. I try to describe it for adults like us in the sports media. This is our summer camp, right?
Yeah.
This is what it is.
I was a big summer camp guy.
Yeah.
I was a division leader at my summer camp after being a camper there. So for 3 summers, I was in charge of all the 7th and 8th grade boys. Man, that develops character real quick. That's tough. You have all these college coaches bitching about name, image, and likeness. Go deal with a bunch of 7th and 8th grade boys.
You have to make
for
them
8 weeks.
Make them shower. Make them
brush their teeth, change their sheets. Some of them were going through puberty, some of them weren't. So the ones that weren't got like made fun of. Crazy.
Such a weird thing to make fun of somebody for.
Yes.
Because it's not.
But that's
like
the petulance of kids.
Yeah,
Trust me, we were all worse.
It's not like it's fun.
Now just all that stuff gets broadcasted because everyone has a cell phone. Oh my God! Imagine some of the stuff that we would have got caught with on camera back in the day. Mm-hmm. We'd all be canceled.
Yeah,
we all wouldn't have careers.
Oh my
We'd all be broke. We'd all be like, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. I am so let down and disappointed. I love Smokey.
Yeah.
Love him. Walked past me this week, gave me the wave. I was on the air, and I'm like, I'm walking over. And I walk up to you. I go, where the heck is Smokey? He abandoned us.
Yeah.
He left. The guy that is the backbone gonna need back surgery here.
Yeah, I hope not.
Sources say.
He's going to be. He's in the medical tent. He's going to be evaluated.
He's in concussion protocol.
he's being evaluated in the tent. He's in the tent. Yeah, it's we'll give more news as we have it.
Yeah,
yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know.
I give you the exclusive, folks.
Yeah, it's going to break. He even said I'm
tweeting it out now. Sources say Smokey needs surgery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every week I come on, he's doing some read for some other body part that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look,
his whole body's going to be sponsored next year.
When you're 65 years old, though, like there are new things that pop up that you need to advertise. So
you know what? We have to have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
We have to sit Smokey down, and we have to say it's time to take more vacation. I got him to Nebraska.
Yeah.
My resume, that's number one on top of the resume. Guy that got Smokey to take a day off and go to Nebraska. I think if we make sure that he understands more vacation, he'll have a longer run.
Yeah, he's still got that kind of radio mindset of like what's going to be on the air.
He's a workaholic.
Yeah.
Hardest working guy I know.
Yeah. What's going to be on the air, and he's just, I think, now starting to realize like, oh, it's YouTube. Whatever.
He's like Belichick. Let me tell you something. This snap face, this instant chat. Smokey doesn't have a 24-year-old girlfriend, right?
No. Right now, he's in no physical condition to handle that. So
not yet. Pop a few pills, he'll be good. Doing.
Let's not put the cart before the horse here. Let's make sure the back is okay.
This episode of 365 Sports is brought to you by Viagra. I'm Smokey.
We'll take it. So, Zach, this week, it's funny. This has been one of the more mundane, controversial Super Bowl weeks I can remember.
Yeah. There's no build-up to this game, but this is what I struggle with. Us as media members, since we're here, we're like, there's no build-up to the game.
Well, this game, that's good, right?
Yeah, and that's what I think the fan cares the most when they tune in on Sunday, that they get a great game, and I believe this is going to be an awesome game.
Yeah, actually, there's more drama that happened right over here with Shannon and Chad Johnson.
What happened? They fought?
James Harrison and Chad Johnson almost got into it.
I saw James Harrison out the other night at dinner. I went out with Brian McFadden and Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
And Brian played with James Harrison. Mm-hmm. And he, snuck up from behind on him to say hello. And Brian, who's defensive back, half of his arm got around James's neck. And I go, I would not sneak up on James Harrison. That dude still looks like he could go for 102 yards to the house for a touchdown in a Super Bowl.
Brian McFadden, FSU legend, just throwing that out there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. I mean, it's not.
Did you go to Florida State?
I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's been a rough year for
Fisk verse, good. I saw Norvell at the Rams-Eagles playoff game.
Okay.
He was there watching his guys.
Yeah.
I like Norvell going back to Memphis when he was coaching Memphis. A big year for them coming on up.
Yeah, it's important. It's very important. They got to get it right.
So Harrison almost threw down here?
Yeah, almost threw down. Right wherever they were shooting, it was right over there.
Let me tell you, if I was in a dark alley and I needed one person to get me past the deadliest man in the country that was ready to kick my ass, I'm calling James Harrison. Warren Sapp walked off of me this week.
Really?
What a baby. Sensitive. We were having a great conversation. Hit it off. You would have thought we've known each other for 20 years. I go, who's the best player in the draft? He goes, Travis Hunter. I go, okay, where's Shador on the list? He's right after him. And then he said, Cam Ward. So 1, 2, 3. I go, what about Abdul Carter? He goes, when was the last time there's a great pass rusher from Penn State?
Micah Parsons.
And that's what I said. And he looked at me as if I said the dude from Ohio State that was Vernon Golston, right? And he threw down the headset and walked off. He goes, I can't talk ball with you. Bizarre. I've had people hang up on me. It's not the first time. Or walk off. This one makes no sense.
Oh, you go.
Like, I understand Aaron Donald, who didn't hang up on me, his PR person just jumped in, not wanting to talk about the helmet swinging incident.
Yeah.
You know, even Deebo Samuel, who ran his mouth about the Eagles, and then he slammed the phone at the person. This, to me, I'm sitting there, and still to this day, I'm like the next day I go, he walked off for that? And I went to go shake his hand as he was walking off. He left me hanging. Left me hanging.
You should send that to Micah. Michael get some mileage out of that.
We had Micah on before him. So I wish we had him on after him because Micah would have had a field day.
Yes.
Micah doesn't even say T.J. Watt's a top 5 pure pass rusher.
Yeah.
So what would he would have said if Warren Sapp was basically trying to shake him down? Crazy.
Warren Sapp, like Micah Parsons would have fit well in those early aughts Bucks.
Well, you know what it was? He was the big fella was hungry. He sat down. He's like, "How many more of these do I have to do? I'm starving." Like, dude, you have 4,000 handlers with you. Tell one of them to go get you a bagel and shut up.
Yeah. Is he still just like an assistant to the assistant at Colorado?
I think he's their defensive line coach.
Okay, yeah.
And hey, I started him off. I loved Amari McNeil this year we had a great conversation, and then out of nowhere, it wasn't as if I said some I'm talking about Micah Parsons.
Yeah. You didn't ask him about some of the stuff that's happened to him, off the field. Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like Aaron Donald. You said Aaron Donald. Like, I get not wanting to talk about that. Now, hanging up is like.
Well, he didn't hang up. Donald, it's just his PR people stepped in. He was like, I think he was promoting a product. It was Dr. Teal's, and he's like, I'm just here to talk about Dr. Teal's. It was kind of like with Dan Patrick back in the day with Matt Harvey and Qualcomm.
Yeah. Before we get in more about the game, your New York Metropolitans brought back Pete Alonso like you thought they would.
Yes, and it's on a 2-year deal with an opt-out after 1, so they're still in play for Vladdy. Because his father is the most upset I've ever been with my franchise not getting a free agent. I think the first time you got your heart broken. I remember as a kid, I was always tracked the bottom line when Vladdy was a free agent, and everyone thought he was going to the Mets. I remember the last game that year, someone went to the stadium in a black Met Guerrero jersey, and we all thought they were going to get him, and then it popped up on the screen that he signed with the Angels. So I want his son, and I want his son to eventually replace Pete Alonso, who I like, but, Pete's good. He's not great.
Vladdy, when he was with the Angels, hit like .495 against the Rangers. Like, if you went, like... It was
his arm, though, in right field, that's what I love the most.
Yeah. No, he could stand flat-footed against the wall and, flick his wrist.
He would throw guys out of first base?
Yeah, and just done. Yeah. Done, absolutely. All right, so the Eagles have a team that's built to combat Patrick Mahomes in this offense, for sure, and in their defense. They have a team that's built to do it. Can they and will they do it?
I think they're winning 31-23.
All right.
Now, I'm also the same idiot that the last 2 years has picked against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
If they can't, we have no hope.
Yeah.
Because the Ravens can't get the job done. The Bills beat them 4 times the regular season, none in the postseason. The Niners have blew 2 10-point leads up against them. The Bengals had their run. Now we'll see if they're ever going to be able to get back. But they didn't even win a Super Bowl even the year they beat Kansas City. So if the Eagles can't do it, have the better roster 1 through 53, then we're in a world of problems for years to come. Now, here's the thing. I look at the Texans. The Texans' defense did a great job in that first half, but their offense just, for whatever reason, wasn't ready to go this year. The Eagles' offense, we know, is ready to go. So I think the start of the game, even though you won't win the game in the first half, but I think the start of the game is so big, and at halftime, the way the Eagles play needs to reflect it. If we're looking at halftime, be like, oh, the Eagles are the better team, but the Chiefs are within a touchdown or the Chiefs are somehow up, that's a big-time problem.
Yeah, I wonder, like, is it going to take a Saquon Barkley, big run to maybe, get the Chiefs on their heels a little bit defensively?
I have three touchdown bets in this game. I hit Matt Collins, by the way, plus 600.
Yeah.
That was, I said on the air, it's the most confident I've ever been about a bizarre bet, Matt Collins plus 600. Mm-hmm. I like Dallas Goedert touchdown. Mm-hmm. I think it's plus 330. The next one I'm going to give you is not crazy. It's Travis Kelce at plus 150, plus 125. Mm-hmm. And then I forget where Devontae Smith's number is. I think it's in the 2s. Devontae Smith anytime touchdown. Those are my 3 anytime touchdown plays. Only 3 bets I made in the game.
Devontae Smith, he's that guy. Like, he's kind of the one who, in the red area plus, like, can kind of like sneak out because I think they worry about A.J. Brown a little bit more because he's bigger. And then all of a sudden you have this great touch. Like last week to Devontae Smith, it's like, okay, or 2 weeks ago to Devontae Smith, it's like, well, they were worried about A.J. Brown getting this thing. And then he's like, well, I won the Heisman friggin' trophy. Yeah.
And also I think the time off helps A.J. Brown because he started to get his legs back in the last game. Being around that Eagles team the few times I don't think he's been that healthy. And I don't think that's a secret. That's not inside info, but enough people have said that.
Yeah, I think that. So, if we had you on since Brian Schottenheimer was hired, we talked about that.
I don't recall, but I was on with you guys last week.
Yeah. Okay, so we were probably talking about it.
Yeah. Drama Dallas choking Cowboys.
Yeah.
A puppet. Should have just kept McCarthy. I know negotiations. Mike wanted 5. Jerry wanted 3. Can we meet in the middle, folks, at 4? I'm not a math guy, but come on. Right at 4.
Yeah. And it's weird talking to a lot of the ex-players. They have a lot of reverence for Jerry Jones.
Yes.
And they love Jerry.
Michael loves him.
Yeah. Everybody loves Jerry. But they'll all say, like, he's in his own way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they'll all admit that. Like, I love him, but he's in his own way.
It's been the same thing for 3 decades.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't win, because his own way is drama. His own way is reality TV. It's not constructing the best football team. And say what you want about McCarthy, and I don't even love McCarthy. I like McCarthy. I don't love him. I'd rather have McCarthy than Schottenheimer.
And look, I don't even.
And McCarthy, what did you get out of it? You thought you were going to get the Bears job. You thought you were going to get the Saints job. They didn't even want to really do an interview with you, and he did the. You're not breaking up with me, I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Well, and look, and the guy who he moved on from Kellen Moore, is probably getting that job. I mean, I would think that it's going to be him since he's in this game and they haven't hired anybody yet.
Yeah. Kellen Moore's going to get the whole thing's bizarre.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. If I'm the Cowboys, I would have hired Kellen Moore over Brian Schottenheimer. And I don't even love Kellen Moore as a head coach candidate. He was supposed to be a head coach a few years ago, and all he's done is just bounce around offensive coordinator spots. If you ask me who has more upside, Brian Schottenheimer or Kellen Moore, I would go. They didn't even get Kellen Moore. They couldn't even do that right.
And
little puppet Schottenheimer is.
And I like Kellen when he was with the Cowboys. I think he's young, and he's going to get to a point. But also, he was handed Saquon Barkley this year, and he was the first coach that Saquon Barkley's ever had that said, like, hey, maybe I should focus on this guy.
By the way, I forgot to tell you this. I had Paige Baranek on this week.
So do we.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was Smokey here for that?
Yeah, he was. That's probably the way to go home.
Source told me, Paige Baranek, interested in Smokey. Interested in Smokey.
There we go.
Bam, chicka, wow.
You're going to kill that old man. You're going to kill him. Yeah.
Did Smokey even know who she was before she sat down?
Oh, yeah. He's a golf fanatic.
Oh, okay.
And so he has his text chain of his golf buddies was just like, and these are old guys who don't do text
They're all
chains.
texting.
They're all
Did
like,
you tell her everything's bigger in Texas?
Yeah. You should have seen the creepy old men in our chat room.
Yeah, you should have seen all the people that work for my company that I don't even know who they are just show up and they're standing behind me. I'm like, who the hell? Oh, you guys work for us?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I'm like, I didn't know you guys were coming to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm Glenn. I'm in marketing. Okay, nice to meet you, Glenn.
Go get me a new deal.
Yeah, love your show. They're like, who are you now?
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So, so you said 31-23.
Yes,
31-23. All right. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about. My wife does not want the Chiefs to win with extreme prejudice. She's over the Chiefs. She's a Titans fan.
So she hates Taylor Swift?
She's apoplectic about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So
Swifties, I don't condone this man and his wife. Okay.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, I don't want
to mess with the Swifties.
I'm more of a Swiftie than she is.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Dude,
feeling 22?
Yeah. No, I'm more of a bad blood. That was mine.
Oh,
it was bad blood.
Gotcha.
That was mine with bad blood.
If you think I'm well versed in the lyrics here.
Oh yeah.
It's like when I talk like pop culture with Smokey. hey, Smokey, you know who Shabuzi is? You know who Cardi B is?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he does know who Cardi B is. He likes that one song.
WAP?
Yeah, that's the one he's into. He always puts it on his iPod.
Then we spell it out for him, and he knows what it means.
Love it, Zach. Love it. No, but I am, as a Cowboys fan, biologically, I'm opposed to the Eagles winning. But I would also like to see a dynasty crumble. So I don't know.
Guys aren't going to like my take on this one.
What's that?
The Eagles this Sunday, they're America's team.
They probably are. The Cowboys.
If they don't win, we have no hope.
The Cowboys.
The rest of we're running out of teams.
Look. The Cowboys are not they're America's team in trademark only, and that they have that, right?
Yeah.
Like they were, but they're America's team, like saying McDonald's has the best cheeseburgers. There was a time where when they were the only fast food restaurant, they were probably number one, but there wasn't In-N-Out or Whataburger or Wendy's or any of that other stuff.
I worked at a Five Guys in high school.
Five Guys, there you go, yeah.
I used to cook the burgers, and I would sneak in the back, and I would steal the cheese, and I would just eat cheese during my breaks. I spilled the grease bucket once. Oh, first day on the job, they're like, "New guy, you got to clean the grease." The grease. So I put in the bucket, and I saw that grease bucket just fall, big orange Home Depot bucket. You would have thought there was an invasion of fire. Everyone's reaction was "Ah!"
So
that's what happens. You have a white Jewish kid cooking burgers.
Did you
and cleaning grease traps?
Did you learn their philosophy? I support them wholeheartedly because of their philosophy on fries.
They stack the bag. They say over deliver on fries, and then when I first was cooking the burgers, I pressed the patty down, and the guy goes, "Don't ever do that." He goes, "We want our grease to be dripping on the floor." He picked up a burger, I'll never forget it, with his bare hand, and just squeezed it, and saw all the gunk and the grease just drip on out. He goes, "That's how we want our burgers."
So you
can thank them for whenever you have a heart attack.
Yeah. So many people are trying to make you eat salads, and they're just leaning into F your salads.
Well, I lost 90 pounds in the last 5 years, so I always have a soft spot because I'm still a large guy.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed salad more. I make we'll put grilled chicken in it, chicken sausage. I really enjoy salad these days.
I'm trying to get back down to the fighting weight, and I've discovered that you can make almost anything out of cottage cheese, and it's healthy.
Is that true?
Seriously, you go on Instagram.
That sounds like something my grandmother would say.
Yeah, I mean, you go on Instagram, and there's all these cottage. You make pizza crust with it. It's chock full of protein.
Yeah.
All these jacked dudes are like, "Listen, bro, cottage cheese, little Greek yogurt. You put the seasoning in it."
So get back to your fighting weight, and next year on Radio Row, where are we in San Francisco next year?
Yeah.
We'll do Oklahoma drills live on set.
Done. Absolutely. I've got leverage on you, buddy. I can get low. I can get low.
That's fine. You can't get lower than me. On the radio, you hit low, I hit lower.
Yeah, I'll get low. I had leverage.
I got to come clean. I was the one that knocked Smokey out of commission for this.
Yeah.
He got in my way trying to chase down Myles Garrett, and I just bulldozed Smokey.
Where do you think is reasonable for him to get traded?
Eagles, Bills, Lions, Commanders, Chiefs.
Woo!
Those are 5.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be motivated to wind up in a place where it's not going to be plug and play championship level football.
Yeah, well, that was my biggest takeaway from him. He wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
Some guys say it and they go to places and they justify that they can win a championship, but we all know that they can't. He actually wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, because if he just wanted to be in another team than the Browns, he could pick any other team.
Yep. Micah said it to me, where he, and I think I did not say this on this show. I think I just said it on another show that I was on. But Micah said it to me. I brought it up, and he goes, "Yeah, it would be a race, first one to get to 20 sacks." But he goes, "I don't know if we could afford both of us." So Micah was talking about the money part of it.
Yeah.
And Myles even talked about. I know he says not about the money. There's going to be more money added to Myles Garrett.
Absolutely. Especially after Micah gets his deal.
Yeah.
It's going to change. Zach, I know you got to get on the air.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy, for coming over. Sorry that Smokey wasn't here to see you.
I love seeing you, obviously, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's Craig, by the way?
Craig takes this week off.
Really?
Yeah. This is not his scene.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I do all these hits with you guys all throughout the year, and all I have to see is Paul.
Yeah.
Paul and Garrett.
Yeah.
You know, Smokey. I love you, Smokey.
All right. Zach Gelb, Infinity Sports Network. This is 365 Sports.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
If you want quality and personalized service for all your air conditioning and heating needs, call Tradesman Services. They're a family-owned and operated company that has served Texans for over 30 years. Tradesman offers maintenance plans starting at just $12 per month and a free service call for all new customers. They're also experts in geothermal design, installation, and service. Visit them online at coolingwaco.com.
Cars priced right both day and night. Average your car in Texas. Trucks built for you, red, white, and blue. Average your car in Texas. Cars that zoom with lots of room. Average your car in Texas. Count on us, a dealer to trust. Average your car in Waco, Texas.
Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown!
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
New Orleans, Super Bowl 59 week, and it's NFL Media Headquarters in Radio Row. Dylan Stewart, South Carolina.
How you doing?
NFL prospect, doing well, thank you. And Sarah Cornell, Rudolph Foods Company, the packaging, graphics, and marketing coordinator. What is all this like?
It's been great. I'm still enjoying it right now. It's a lot of people here.
Yeah, so Dylan, this is, you as a freshman, coming out on the scene, South Carolina, you guys kind of announced your presence this year. What does it feel like to be building something there that, again, it seems like you guys are kind of starting to climb a mountain here that looks pretty impressive?
It just feels great knowing we're going in the right direction.
What has Coach Beamer been like during this time and the belief in him?
He's been great. He's just been pouring into us, making sure we work hard, making sure we do the right things to be great off the field.
What did Kyle Kennard mean to you this year?
It meant a lot. Just mentoring me, just helping me stay grounded, just helping me on things I need to help on, like plays and formations and other things he sees that I don't see.
There's a process here leading up into the offseason, eventually spring and whatever else. Because of what Paul said, the momentum that the Gamecocks have gained, how do you make sure nobody slips and gets back into anything you've done before?
What do you mean?
How do you keep going forward, using that momentum and getting to the point where you're trying to not only compete for an SEC, but actually win
Just
one?
continue to get better. Just work on the things that you're not perfect at, that you're not good at. Just make sure you do the little things, the small details.
How much towards the end of the season, because you guys had a couple of like really close losses in games that would have put you maybe in the SEC title game. Was it the A&M game where you came out and just stomped them, where maybe you realized like, oh, we're not to be messed with, like those things fixed?
We knew the whole season we were balling, but it was just that Oklahoma game. We just put it all together, then we went on that run.
What did you learn from that Alabama loss where you guys were in control? Like, was that something where you kind of had to look inward and go, we had these dudes?
We just learned, like, from that loss, we learned we had to limit our mistakes and just capitalize when you have your chances.
Lots of tackles for losses, which is what you do. 10.5, quarterback hurries, 40. That's a big number. Sacks, 6.5. Huh?
I think it's more than that.
More than that. Also, it's crunch time. Pork rinds, that's what you're doing. We'll get to you in just a second. But crunch time, when there is a need to put pressure, and you know it, what is the mentality with your mindset?
Get off the ball.
Get off the ball.
Yeah, tip of the pad, reading the tackle, get off.
So, what is the feeling for people who'll never experience it of sacking a quarterback like a Jalen Milroe, Garrett Nussmeier, Marcel Reed? Like,
it's a great feeling because you being up on offensive tackles. They supposed to be in the league. They older than you. You getting around sacking a quarterback. It's been there for 5 years. It's a great feeling.
Can you try to explain? South Carolina's got a great game atmosphere, but did it change much as the year progressed, as you guys started to win bigger games?
Nah, South Carolina fans are always supportive, even when we're losing. Like, they're going to bring the energy.
When it's people may not know about it as much, but like I remember it came out this year, like on the video game is one of the toughest places to play.
Yeah, when we're winning, it gets loud.
Yeah. All right. How good are you at the video game?
I'm a little good. Not too good.
Not too good. Like,
I ain't losing though.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You can't say you're not too good, but you're not losing.
I'm not losing, but I'm just saying I ain't that good, but I ain't gonna lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's figuring out a way to win.
Yeah.
That's what defensive ends have to do, right? Lenora Sellers exploded on the scene this year too. Super athletic. What does it feel like as a defense knowing that you're going to go get him and those guys the ball back?
That feels great because we know Lenore's he gonna make a play every time.
He's a big dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 240.
Yeah.
240,
If you
I think he get bigger
how many times have you had to, like in practice or whatever? I know you try to be careful of the quarterback in practice, but how big a dude is he compared to others?
He's probably one of the biggest quarterbacks, but in practice I sack him a lot.
Dylan, I want to talk. We got to talk about your Stewie chain. Now, I know that obviously there's the connection of the name, but are you a Family Guy fan?
I mean, I watch Family Guy sometimes, but the fans really made me lean into it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's can I touch it?
Yeah, you can touch it.
Damn, man, that create neck problems right there for someone like me.
Yeah, pretty heavy.
For someone like me. Sarah, crunch time, the Southern recipe. We got the pork rinds right here. Yeah. Sweet barbecue. That just sounds delicious. Yeah. Give us an idea about, well, first of all, the relationship with Dylan and also your business and what you have here today.
Yeah, so I work for Rudolph Foods, so we're the world's largest manufacturer of pork rinds. And then this year, Dylan was our Crunch Time Hero of the Year, so he was our Week 1 winner, actually, and he carried that fan vote all the way through to the end. So as our Crunch Time Hero of the Year for 2024, we're really excited. We did some charitable stuff with Food Share South Carolina with Dylan, and then we're really looking forward to 2025. We're going to be supporting the Archer Foundation, which supports children with a rare form of pediatric brain cancer called DIPG. So that's pretty near and dear to our hearts, but we're excited to launch that into 2025 and get our charitable outreach out there.
Dylan, what was it about doing the charity work? What did you learn from that this year?
What I learned from that is just giving back. Like, it's good to give back. God bless you with things that other people don't have. So just go out and help people that when you can with your ability. Your talent and your abilities. Did
you have fun doing it? I mean, you meet a lot of cool people doing that, don't you?
Yeah, you make connections for life. You know.
What is it like then for you to have someone, a young kid, look up to you the way they do? And what does that mean to you? We know what it probably means to that young child because they're going through a lot. But what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's a great feeling just knowing I'm influencing somebody to do good in life.
That's pretty cool. Are you a low key, kind of quiet young man? Is the personality going to pop up when you get your pads on?
I mean, yeah. When I put the pads on, my personality shows. But I'm just very, very low key to myself.
All right. As long as you're playing well.
All right, Dylan. Let's say I'm pass blocking you, right? Which I mean, I know you can picture. We're the same.
How tall are you?
6'6".
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, he's almost a foot taller than me. Almost.
No, you're not.
Almost a foot. But you're pass blocking. Are you gonna? What's your go-to? Is it the swim? Is it underneath?
Whatever you give me.
Okay. So you've got the utility belt. Like whatever's gonna happen. Swim, club move, just shove me back.
Yeah.
Do you like the Jared Verse just run the left tackle into the quarterback kind of a thing?
Nah, I don't. I do it when they open up a lot because I'm a speed rusher, so I get off the ball. So they're oversetting me. When I see they're oversetting me, I'm a power. That's why I show the power.
Sarah, you've dealt with athletes in the past and obviously with pork rinds. We've had numerous guests on. This is my 32nd Super Bowl Radio Row, and Paul's been every year, I think, but once since 2010. What's it like when you get to know the athlete and you kind of see what they do for your business, but also for what you're supporting?
Yeah, it's really awesome to see, like this year with Dylan giving to Food Share South Carolina. It was local to him and local to his school. But it's really great to get to know the guys and to see what they can do and help get that support for our foundations and for the business in pork rinds. So,
Rudolph Foods, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe, small batch. My last question for you. The SEC obviously did not win the national title the last couple of years. It's come out of the Big Ten. Big, deep conference. Then new teams come in with Texas and Oklahoma, and Texas wins the first time they're in it. Can you give us your perspective, still young, of being a part of that conference?
I feel like SEC has the best athletes. Yeah.
Okay. So who's the next SEC team that's going to the national title?
Next SEC team?
It's going to win it all.
That's too early. Too early.
Too early. Okay, I was trying to get you to have a Joe Namath moment where you're going to say, he's
no, I'm just saying social
smart.
media.
Yeah. There we go.
He was trying to get you to do that.
I don't mean to do gotcha journalism. I was just curious. But Shane Beamer, what can you tell people who see one thing on the outside looking in that they wouldn't know about him?
That they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know.
Sounds like he's pretty much what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. Yeah. Fiery.
Yeah, fiery. Very, very, very passionate.
What was something in particular whenever he got on you? Do you remember a moment when he got on you? Remember that the most?
Like in practice, just one day, just having a bad day. Just it's early in the morning, you know. I'm flopping around in practice, just get to running, yelling.
Right,
you know,
right.
The regular.
Dylan Stewart, freshman edge rusher, University of South Carolina. The Gamecocks were one of the great stories. College football this year. There were a handful of teams that made that run, part of the SEC. It's crunch time. Southern Recipe, small batch, crunch time. And again, what a great product that we have right here with the pork rinds.
There we go.
Yeah, check out porkrinds.com.
Porkrinds.com. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game. Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott understand these are difficult and changing times we live in, but they know how important your financial investments are to you. So is your financial advisor staying in touch with you and helping you navigate today's financial climate? Invest with Edward Jones Financial Advisors Ben Erlinson, Chuck Verno, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott will invest their time and experience back to you and your money. And like coaching athletes, investing money is about time, patience, and encouragement. Contact Ben Erlinson at 254-759-8533. Brad Wilson's location at 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, and Cam Heathcott in Conroe. Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Brad Wilson, and Cam Heathcott, proud sponsors of 365 Sports. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Experience the excitement of Truck Month at Allen Samuels. The perfect opportunity to drive home a true champion. The Ram has earned the prestigious title of 2025 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and we're marking the occasion with unbeatable deals on new Ram 1500, Ram 2500, and more. Whether you seek power, luxury, or extraordinary capability, Allen Samuels has the perfect truck tailored just for you. But these deals won't last long. Allen Samuels, your trusted truck partner.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it, Saquon Barkley, first down, Barkley, Saquon, touchdown.
Live from Radio Row for Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, this is 365 Sports. Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Allen Samuels House of Travel, the official travel sponsor of 365 Sports. Now, here's David Smoak and Paul Catalina.
Watching 365 Sports, we had an unbelievable show thanks to Brian Baldinger, Zach Gelb, Dante Hall, Thurman Thomas, Darren Woodson. Everybody was on the show thanks to Smokey, Garrett, and Emery. We're back again tomorrow with all the stuff that you haven't seen yet. We'll get that in to tomorrow's show, including something we wanted to run today, and then we ran out of time. So, that's how much stuff we have right here on 365 Sports. We will see you tomorrow.